Tom will drop it back for Shea. Unicop's rip with the puck.
Sports 1440. Your every hockey game there.
Unicop's rip with the puck. Oilers will look to go the other way. Heavy goal from Jake Wallman, and the Oilers are right back in this game. It's 3-1.
Made for some rough roads.
And in Miller the rebound. Throws it ahead to Grant Williams. Back to Miller ball.
And adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% OAC. In St. Albert and always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary.
Throws it ahead to Grant Williams. Back out to Miller ball. They're in Spectre 12 again. Back to 12 again.
Used trucks and more. Info at
Back
maauctions.com.
out to Miller ball.
It's made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China. So no.
Throws it ahead to Grant Williams.
Those boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com. Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Unicop's rip with the puck. Oilers will look to go the other way. And here they come. The slot is Wallman. It's two shots. Short-handed goal from Jake Wallman, and the Oilers are right back in this game. It's 3-1.
On Sports 1440.
To Grant Williams. Back out to Miller ball. And Miller. They're in Spectre 12 again.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So, building up shootings.
Beneath the ball. So the goals and back-to-back games. It's done. And it's 6-2.
Well, lovely Friday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. When you look at the Oilers last night, it wasn't very good. And I just spoke for 37 seconds. The Oilers allowed 3 goals in the time that I've come on the air until then. That's how quick it was. Game over, 37 seconds. Never happened in the history of the Edmonton Oilers before to allow 3 goals in 37 seconds. That is a capital U ugly. Real ugly for the Edmonton Oilers, as not enough energy. They weren't ready to play. Second game in a row. And man, it was, and even when Jake Wallman scored to make it 3-1, a shorthanded goal, which you think might have given them some life. No, it didn't. They didn't have it. The second game in a row, basically, you had a 20-minute stretch in the third period against New Jersey, and that's it. Not Not good enough for the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll see what the Oilers will do tomorrow night against the Washington Capitals. A day off today for the Edmonton Oilers. They always have a mandated day off every week in the National Hockey League. And so they chose today. And we'll see. Come back maybe refreshed. Who knows? You got to play way better. So far, the Oilers have done nothing to take advantage of their favorable schedule in the month of January. Not remotely good enough. And the only saving grace for the Edmonton Oilers is that Vegas lost last night as well. That's really their only advantage. But, Vegas still has 3 games in hand. So, Vegas wins all 3, which is a big if. But if they did, then you're 8 points back. And that's a pretty big hole to have to make up. Vegas will be gaining those games at hand between now and the Olympic break. When they get to the Olympic break, I think Edmonton will only have played 1 extra game. So they'll come back from the Olympics and it'll be pretty steady down the stretch. Those 2 teams will meet 3 times in March and April. And those 3 games will have a big factor in who finishes first or second in the Pacific Division. Washington Capitals, who the Oilers play tomorrow night. They are in Calgary tonight. And that hasn't benefited Edmonton at all. New Jersey won in Calgary. They won here. Pittsburgh won in Calgary. They won here. Washington, they obviously will be looking to win in Calgary tonight and then come to Edmonton the next day. So we'll talk to Joe Beninati from Washington in hour number 1. The Capitals and Ovechkin. Is this going to be Ovi's last visit to Edmonton? You know what? I'll say this. If this is indeed Alex Ovechkin's last season, I love the fact that he's not having a big goodbye in every market. I respect it a lot. The greatest player, Wanye Gretz, never did. He announced it with 2 games to go in the season. His last game in Canada, last game of the season. No problem. Respected it. A season-long goodbye, not good. I don't think a player should ever do that. I didn't like Anze Kopitar is a really good player. I just didn't understand why the need to announce a season-long goodbye. Why? Do the LA Kings fans have to say goodbye 41 times a year? Then you go into all these markets. Now it's almost like you're pressuring them. Oh, geez, you know what? When Anze comes to our town, we're going to have to give him something. Why? Guy, but what did he really do for your organization? Honestly, if you're not the LA Kings, I don't get it. So I'll be stunned if LeBron James doesn't have a year-long goodbye. I would think, God, he might have a 2-year one. I like LeBron as a player, but sometimes it's a little bit self-serving. So I've never understood that. Right? You want to give your fans an opportunity. They can say goodbye. 1 or 2 games is lots. More than enough. But the Oilers, hey, they gotta say goodbye to being unable to come back in games. Right? Doesn't make sense to me. So you have a team that is a top 5 scoring team in the National Hockey League. But if they give up the first goal, they don't have the offense to come back? What? Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Just because you get down 1-0 means you can only win 4 out of 26 games? Because that's where the Oilers are at. Oh, by the way, they're 0-5-1 when they go down 3-0 in a game. No surprise. But I find it concerning that a team with that much offense can't overcome a 1-goal deficit more than 4 out of 22 times. Right? Hey, on the other hand, great. They've won 21 of 26 when they score first. Good. But you have to be able to come back at some point in the NHL because nobody scores first all the time. Right? Doesn't happen at all. So you look at teams that have scored first the most. Funny enough, the Washington Capitals, who come to town tomorrow night. The Capitals have played 51 games. They have scored first 33 times. Then you got Minnesota, 32-20. Pittsburgh is 30-20. St. Louis, funny enough, is 30-20. The Blues score first a lot. They're not great at winning those games, though. They've only won 16 of the 30 games. They got one of the worst winning percentages of teams who score first. So you go down to the Oilers are they're at 50% of their games. Played 52, scored first in half of them. As I said, the highest is Washington, 33-18. It's a pretty good ratio. Solid. But lots of teams are 3-4 times more scoring first and last. Right? The worst team when it comes to scoring first are the Nashville Predators. They've only scored first 16 times out of 50. 16-34. And then the Flyers, 17. Vegas Golden Knights, only 21 out of 49. But when you look at wins when trailing, as I mentioned, the Oilers have 4. Only the Chicago Blackhawks, who have won 3 out of 21. St. Louis, 3 out of 20. And Winnipeg, 2 out of 21. That's it. Those are the only teams worse than the Oilers. And none of them, the Blues, the Jets, or the Blackhawks, are a team that is top 5 in goals. That's the part that doesn't make sense. Right? Like none of those teams, actually, if I scroll all the way down, the Blues are the lowest scoring team. That would make sense. We can't score. We get behind. You're in trouble. Right? Chicago's kind of middle of the pack. Winnipeg is 20th. But the Oilers are 5th. And here we are, 52 games in to the season. And you can only score, you're not going to score first much more than 55% of the time, realistically. There's the odd team. But for the most part, you come in, some teams are around, most teams clutter in that 48 to 52% range. The Oilers are at 50. So you have to find ways to win some games when you give up a first goal. And especially on home ice. Now, 3 goals in 37 seconds, my goodness. None of you have seen it before. I didn't have because it's never happened before. You could barely write it out, and the next goal was in the net. It was absolutely wild. Hey, Gregor, why does Knobloch not like to challenge or use the 30-second timeout? Well, he used his 30-second timeout last night because they wanted a little extra time to see if they would challenge the first Mantha goal. It wasn't offside. Right? It was very close, but they took extra time to look at it. It wasn't offside. So he used his timeout because he was thinking on challenging. But wisely, he didn't challenge because then Pittsburgh, although in hindsight, God, maybe they should have challenged because then Pittsburgh would have won the power play. They might not have scored 3 times in 37 seconds. Obviously, that's a great hindsight. But that you're playing a team, second half of back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, and they had infinitely more jump than the Edmonton Oilers. All game. That's a concern. Well, Connor McDavid said it after the game. Hey, we're into 30 games left in the season. Right? The sense of urgency in our group has to go up. He said it starts with him. His last 2 games haven't been your best. Well, good for him to want to die on the sword, but trust me, McDavid's urgency most nights, not an issue. Their puck play. Oh, my goodness. And his quote was, our puck play has been bad. Really, really bad. Not connecting on passes, sloppy, bouncing, whatever it is, and it looks slow and clunky. And it's true. And that's not, the Oilers aren't, they don't win slow and clunky. They don't like to grind the game down. That's not how they're built. Right? They got to play fast. But when you're missing passes, like my goodness, Darnell Nurse's puck accuracy last night was abysmal. I don't know how many times he had the puck on his stick and just missing passes. Like, that's just a focus. You got a skills coach. Get out there maybe and work with Connor Allen sometimes. Take advantage of it. Because this year, I would argue Nurse's puck play is the worst I've ever seen it. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. And it's not like he's not capable of completing a pass. But I know he's never been a great passer, but my goodness. Last night was just awful. Cons, what stood out to you, my man?
Well, the
Penguins scored 3 goals in about a time my son had 2 scoops of food. It was crazy how fast they were putting pucks in the back of the net. That was probably one of the more discouraging things about it is that you allow a goal and then, you let one go in so quickly, like bounce back. And then to see it again right after the second goal. Okay, guys, let's regroup here. Let's not let another one in. And then, you give Sidney Crosby full credit to him. An absolutely beautiful deflection, but maybe don't let him skate freely in the slot, right? Like make it a little bit more difficult on them. At that point, it just seemed like it was over. The wind was out of the sails. The Penguins had the momentum. Despite getting that shorthanded goal, you couldn't build off it. You let the Penguins score those goals right again. And I would give credit to the Penguins for that. They, anytime the Oilers had a little bit of momentum, they were able to squash it and answer back. But just to give up one, that's one thing. But 3 goals, the 2 breakaways, uncharacteristic turnover by McDavid, Malkin makes him pay. Just was a game you throw out there. That was right on par with the Avs and the Stars game for me. Just not good enough.
Yeah. No. So here the Oilers go. Now, teams go in funks. I get it. But this has been a longer than just a funk. The Oilers on home ice, outside of their first 6 games of the season, ever since Colorado came in here and basically just gave them a spanking, 9-1, Edmonton has won 8 of 19 home games. 8 of 19. It's not good enough. They're not that bad of a team. You got fans paying big money to go to games, and you're winning 8 of 19. This month, well, really, since New Year's Eve, the Oilers have won 2 of 8 home games at a time where the schedule is favorable for you. Not traveling a lot. So to me, it's unacceptable for a team that has, they have a higher standard. And right now, on home ice, especially for months, their standard hasn't been good enough. Flat out. It's not good enough. So it's got to get better. Lorianne Munzer will be by. We'll have Wanye Gretz. Frank Schwab will join us. We'll preview the conference finals in the National Football League. Also, could Phil Rivers be the Marty St. Louis of football? Why not? Now, he actually has more coaching experience. He's coached at the high school level where Marty was coaching like 10 and 11-year-olds. And football is very different. There's no question. If Phil Rivers was your head coach, he would need a very experienced defensive coordinator. No question. Probably an experienced offensive coordinator. But I don't mind the Phil Rivers interview. Right? Plays quarterback. You've got to understand not only what every offensive player was doing when you're the quarterback, but you really had to understand defenses. What worked well, which defenses gave you trouble. In theory, could be good. I don't mind that decision at all. He would obviously understand the quarterback position, which is the most important position in football, quite well. Cons, I know you're a Charger fan through and through, and you've got a head coach who's not going anywhere. What do you make of Rivers potentially as a head coach?
I like the idea. And, like you said, he's coached high school ball for a long time. He's probably, to me, one of the last quarterbacks who breaks down defenses in the fashion of a head coach. He's not going out there looking at the wristband. We saw this game going with the Colts where he's on the line, he's making audibles, he's putting guys in the right position. And I think in turn, like you said, he knows the quarterback position very well. He knows offense, but he knows defenses and he knows what works and what doesn't. So I like the idea. Good for the Bills, maybe thinking outside the box, and for Philip Rivers, a chance to interview and see what it's all about. If it doesn't work, I wonder if there might be an offensive coordinator position available, because I know the Bills have talked about Mike McDaniel or someone else they were going to interview. That's another one that kind of bugs me as a Chargers fan, but I think it's great. I think he would interview really well. He's got that enthusiasm. I think from what I've seen with the Colts or the Chargers, teammates love him. I think a lot of players would like to play for him. So if it doesn't work out in Buffalo, I think down the road, he's certainly going to be a head coach in the NFL, but I'd be okay with this one. I got a soft spot for the Bills, and if Philip Rivers ends up there, hopefully he just doesn't take Mike McDaniel because he's got to stay in LA.
833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greggs, are you concerned about Tristan Jarry? No, if anything, Oiler fans, you spent, not you, some of you, spent years, but it's all Stuart Skinner's fault. It's all Stuart Skinner's fault. Get rid of Stuart Skinner and everything will be better. Imagine if Stuart Skinner was still here and he was the goalie last night. People would be texting it today. Stuart Skinner, Brad, you're never going to win with him. But Jarry's new, and you're like, well, the team actually in front of him wasn't very good, so I don't want to blame the goalie yet. But I'll gladly blame Stuart Skinner because it was convenient, and that's what I thought. It was Stu Skinner, and I don't want to admit that it was wrong, so clearly I can't blame the new goalie. Can't do it, right? Last night was a great example of how the Oilers can really make it open season for their goaltender at times. Could Stuart Skinner have had better games? Of course he could have. But he was not the only problem. He was not the many want. I don't know what it is, but there's an infatuation in this market to always have to find a whipping boy. There's got to be somebody. You know what? The Oilers lose, but God, it's this one guy or it's these two guys. They're the ones. Doesn't matter. They can make one mistake in the game, it's their fault. The whole game. The other 59 minutes, irrelevant. That one mistake is what cost them all the time. But Skinner's gone. And you're like, oh. Maybe it isn't always the goalie. Now, Tristan Jarry, I don't think he, got beat on 2 breakaways. Malkin fumbled the puck a bit, and now you're kind of caught in no man's land. I thought Mantha made a pretty good move, although I was actually surprised. Mantha, I thought, had the whole upstairs early in that, and I was kind of like, man, he just missed his chance. And then he delayed and still scored. Jarry needed to make a few more saves, no question. But even if he makes a few more, now they just lose 4-1. So it wasn't going to make the difference in the outcome of the game. But am I concerned about Jarry? No. But Ingram's playing tomorrow. For sure, he's playing tomorrow. And if he wins tomorrow, I probably would play him on Monday. Right? There's nothing wrong with, you can't get caught up in we think this guy's our starter. No, play as well as the other guy, then you can be the starter. And until then, Ingram, to me, it should be a rotation. And in fact, Ingram plays great again on Washington. I'm playing him on Monday. Now, then I would go back to Jarry automatically the next game on the Thursday. And they might not wait that long because that's basically a week between games. So you might have an Ingram and then Jarry. We'll see. But I know it was Jarry's former team, but you could have played Ingram on the previous game. You could have, if you really wanted to. So I've liked Ingram's game. Now, if Ingram was in net last night, do I think the Oilers would have won? No. They didn't play very well. I don't blame it on the goalie. Not at all. I think they still would have lost. But I'm going back to Connor Ingram tomorrow night without hesitation. Craig Button, Mark Spector, Al Mitchell will also be by. We'll take your thoughts. You can text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, Lotto Max tonight, $10 million. You can get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, you can see the Jason Gregor Show odds boost special games for NFL and NHL and more at PlayAlberta.ca. We'll have a special one for the Oilers coming up tomorrow morning, so you can check that one out. But we got some NHL games as well as the NFL. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring graders, forklifts, wheel loaders, man lifts, mini excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, plus commercial trailers and sea cans. Info at maauctions.com.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. A little chilly out there. It is going to slowly heat up, so that is nice. Big plans for the weekend. If you're a football fan, Sunday you'll be double dipping, watching some games. You have, of course, NHL action this weekend. Hey, maybe you'll be heading down to Oilers and Alumni taking on Shoresy tonight down at Rogers. On Sunday afternoon, you also have the wrestling. Eddie Steele's going to be part of it down at the Oil Kings game. Is he going to body slam Kevin Karius? This morning he said he really wants to. Oh, maybe Eddie's just going to go off script, right? Maybe they could have like the screw job Edmonton edition. Be fantastic. Cons, don't lie. You'd like to see Eddie body slam Karius.
I would love that. That'd be great for the Monday morning show. What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like to see it. What happened?
Oil Rumble screw job.
Oh.
And then Karius spits at Eddie's face like Bret Hart did. Might get a little personal.
Yeah, we should come up with the script for what they should do.
We should be writing
I like
this.
We should be writing the script. This is fantastic. Be all over it. Oh, it'd be great. So check that out on Sunday as well. Saturday night, of course, we'll have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Washington Capitals, who are in Calgary tonight to take on the Flames. Oilers have not been able to benefit from teams who played in Calgary the night before this week. Jersey beat the Flames, then they beat the Oilers. Penguins beat the Flames, then they beat the Oilers. Capitals will try to make it 3-3. Oilers obviously want to avoid that. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And the McDonald's at the 590 Baseline Road in Sherwood Park is closing for renovations. So get there before the end of the month, and you can get a discount card that's valid at other Sherwood Park locations. So get in there, get yourself maybe a McDouble, and get the discount card up until February 2nd. As Joe Beninati joins us, voice of the Capitals. Joe, how you doing?
Hey, Jason, good to hear your voice.
Well, Joe, good to hear yours too. I guess, can you give me a quick update on, is Pierre-Luc Dubois expected to return at some point this year?
Yes, and the indications that we're getting are more than likely after the Olympic break.
Okay.
And then as soon as I say that, I watch him go through morning drills here in Calgary, and he looks strong. He's getting stronger, but I think the recipe for the most part was let's figure on after the Olympic break, but they sure could use him. They've only had him for a half a dozen games this season, and he was vitally important last year, and that's one of the guys they missed the most.
Yeah. One guy who has filled in pretty well, though, is Justin Sordiff, who they acquired from Florida in the offseason. He has a pretty good year.
He has, and when you talk to Chris Patrick or you talk to Capitals scouts and coaches, they all will admit that the scouting staff had eyes on Justin for a long time. They were very interested in him during his junior days, during his American League days, and when the opportunity was there to make that deal with Florida, they didn't hesitate. The price was costly. It was a second-round pick, if memory serves, but they were very high on his explosiveness, the ability to separate from defenders. And he's shown us that quickness. At the beginning of the season, there were some issues coming out of camp. So his development was slow in the first month or so. And then all of a sudden now, if Dubois was the shutdown matchup center last year, Sordiff has taken a lot to that role this time around. And for Spencer Carberry to trust a young player like that, that's saying something. So Justin's speed, quickness, playmaking ability, we've seen some finishing ability in recent weeks. He had a huge game against Anaheim, if memory serves. So a lot of that faith that the scouts and the development staff and the management team had in him is paying off now.
And, the Capitals don't have, obviously Ovechkin's there, but he's not like the Ovechkin 60-goal scorer, 50-goal scorer. But they've got pretty balanced scoring, 8 guys in double digits. But, you look at where the Capitals are at, and I know the East is, you win 2 or 3 games and you can go from second or from fifth to second and vice versa. But the Capitals, they find themselves now 6 points out of the wild card. Do you sense desperation that, okay, this team's got to start winning some games here?
Yeah, the players and the coaches have been using words like that. Urgency is the biggest one. A sense of urgency that's required. If you listened to Spencer Carberry's morning scrum today, they're not panicking, but the intensity level has to be, in his words, through the roof. And he expects that no matter who the Caps are playing. Everybody is so tight, but to all of a sudden see Washington, hanging around 12th, 13th, 14th place in the conference, that's nowhere near where they expected to be. Credit to Pittsburgh, credit to the Islanders, credit to the Flyers. Anybody who was looking at the Metro at the outset of the year, I think rightly would have predicted, sure, Carolina, Washington, Jersey in some fashion like that. But you've got the 2 Pennsylvania teams playing well. You've got the Islanders playing well. And now all of a sudden, Washington knows that these are desperate times, and they've got to bring a very, very high sense of urgency. And it just so happens that it falls right smack dab in the middle of a 6-game road trip. Very difficult competition along the way, too. So they're going to be challenged. Now we'll see if they rise up to it.
Tom Wilson, Olympian, he comes back and he missed some games. Obviously, that's a huge boost to this team. You've obviously called this games for a long time. And just can you kind of describe like the evolution of Tom Wilson, right? Like everybody remembers a young guy, probably a little bit undisciplined with some of his hits, but that's really been gone from his game now. Like he's turned into much more than just a hitter. Oh gosh, well, way more than that, Jason. He's become the complete kind of player that you could use him in any circumstance. He can be a very, very valuable penalty killer, and I would hope and expect that he might do that in Italy when the tournament begins in 19 days. He's vitally important on the power play. He's taken over the TJ Oshie role in front of the cage and has scored well there. He's a 5-on-5 threat. He's a physical forecheck threat. He's the big brother to everybody on the team if there needs to be someone spoken to or if the gloves need to come off. When we first saw Tom, what's he now, 13-year pro, his skill set was nowhere near where it was right now. He was physical, tough, the biggest kid in the room, sure, but he has worked incredibly hard to be more disciplined. He takes enormous pride in hitting in his terms fairly. He wants to keep shoulder down. He wants to keep elbow down, stick down. He's a 6'4", 235-pound truck who skates at a very, very high level. When he hits you, you stay hit. And I think he's come to realize, and the team around him has realized, what a leader he can be. There's no doubt in my mind, once Alex Ovechkin is no longer a Cap, that Tom Wilson wears that C proudly for Washington. Speaking of Ovechkin, there's lots of rumblings. A lot of people still think, this is going to be his last year. And, he's still producing quite well. He's got 20 goals again. He's got a realistic chance to get 30 again. It's hard to score 30 goals in the NHL. You're around him all the time. Do you think this is his last year? Time will tell, and eventually Alex will tell, Jason. I see what everybody else sees nowadays, and that burst that was there for so many years. Now you're talking about a 40-year-old player in his 21st year as a pro. That burst is there occasionally. It's nowhere there near as consistently. Okay. And Alex is still, I think, become even more of a playmaker. As he's aged, he's become a very good feeder. Someone who's in the past used to dominate and insist upon the puck. He's now playing off of each other, playing off of his teammates much better. That shot is never going to go away, and that's why we're talking about a guy who potentially might have 20 different 30-goal seasons. Let that sink in for a moment. It's stunning. He's at 19, and he's pushing for another one. I still see Alex every day with a love for the game. I don't think that's ever going to wander or ever leave him. It's just a matter of whether or not physically this is something he's willing to put himself through again and again and again. I don't know. I don't have any inside information. There's always been the speculation that he'd like to play a season back home once his NHL career is over. I think that's very much in the picture. But when he chooses to do so is still a question. And I think only Alex and those closest to Alex would really know. Joe Beninati joins us, of course, the voice of the Washington Capitals. They are in Calgary tonight, and will take on the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow. One other young player that, Ethan Frank, 11 goals now in 40 points, is up to basically a half a point a game player. He's emerged as another guy in this organization that's just, they've kind of been able to retool. You look at Protas and Ryan Leonard and Connor McMichael, and then they acquired Sordiff. Ovechkin's getting older, but they've been able to bring in some guys here to not have to go into a full-on rebuild. Yes, and the future's bright too, right? With Cole Hudson coming eventually from the collegiate ranks, with Ilya Protas, that's Alexei's brother at 6'6", doing very, very well in the American League as a teenager this year. The future's bright there. The pipeline's pretty well put together. They've drafted extremely well. And with regard to Ethan Frank, someone who's never drafted, who's now in his mid to late 20s, with a roller hockey background, what is it, Jason, that every scout, every coach is looking for? They're looking for skating speed. Mm-hmm. And instantly, Ethan is
I would say if we're going to line him up goal line to goal line sprints, he's the fastest Cap in the group.
Okay.
And he's put in his time. He's an American Hockey League All-Star. He's a 30-goal scorer there. And then all of a sudden now, upon recalls, he was getting third and fourth line shifts and only playing 7 or 8 minutes. But the confidence was growing, and you could see it. The faith was growing with the staff. Spencer Carberry was more apt to put him into high-stress situations. And all of a sudden now, again, there's the reward. The puck's going in for him. His confidence level, his swagger is growing. What he has is breakaway speed. He has the ability to separate from people like nobody's business. And now it's just a matter, I think, of being more and more comfortable with the puck. We've got a lot of guys in the NHL who can skate like the wind, but few of them can skate like the wind and stick handle like Connor McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
He does things at top speed. Now, Ethan, okay, let's do a goal line to goal line sprint. All right, you can hang with those fast guys, but can you do it with a puck? And I think he's getting more and more comfortable with that. Got a very, very good shot. He's not the biggest guy in the gym, but he can go.
Well, another young player that you talk about, was a second-round pick, Andrew Kristoff in the WHL, and he's having a pretty good rookie season, if I'm not mistaken. I think he leads Hershey in points as a rookie. He's only 20 years of age. Hearing any rumblings, could you be seeing him in Washington soon after the Olympic break?
I know people are clamoring as the Caps have not been playing well of late. They're asking, where's Ilya Protas? Where's Andrew Crystal? I think that time is coming. I do think that in years past, I've seen coaching staffs and management be extra loyal to players that they give the longest opportunity and leash to. But all of a sudden now, if the Caps are really in a playoff push, and it sure looks like they're going to be past the 51-game mark, you may want to think about investing or bringing up in and investing in some time for those younger players. In the time that I've seen Crystal, Jason, I've seen him in training camps. I've seen him in preseason games. He might be a better NHL player than he would be at the AHL level, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because his hockey instincts are so good. His offensive instincts are so good. He starts to play with more talented offensive players. He becomes that much of a greater you get that much greater input from him. Again, undersized. So you're in that 5'7", 5'8" category. And the difference is he's not a burner. He's improved his skating. His skating is definitely getting better. What he has is high IQ, instincts, hands, playmaking. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But if it's going to be one or the other, I think it'll be Protas' brother first, but I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Obviously, if they don't get back in the race, then you probably want to see the young guys in the future for certain. And let's say they don't get in the race here, and you look at it because they've got some young guys coming for sure. And maybe it's Ovi's last year. We'll never know. Obviously, they're never trading him. But what about some other guys? Do you like? They don't have a ton. Like John Carlson's a pen in UFA, but what have you heard on him and a potential extension? Do you see that coming, or could he possibly be someone that maybe gets moved?
Publicly, in the last week to 10 days, they've made a point of saying that the negotiations have begun for John.
Okay.
A month or so ago, that was not the case, and there was some people who were wringing hands going, are we going to bring him back? I mean, this is arguably the greatest defenseman in Caps history. He's at age 35, 36 now. He's 36. You mentioned he's going into unrestricted free agency. They are talking. I don't pretend to know about or have the general manager skills to sit there and go, okay, trade him as a rental, sign him in the offseason, sign him back. I really do believe, though, that management and ownership would like to see John retire and play his entire career with the Caps. But if things spiral horribly the wrong way, might they listen to people before March 6th? I don't know. Would John be open to that? I don't know. It's interesting from day to day and week to week, Jason, and I think you're going to get this from just about everybody this season because the races are so close. Are you selling? Are you buying?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And if you asked me this a week ago, before this current stretch really started to spin the wrong way, I'd sit there and go, no, they're aggressively looking for a top 6 forward and maybe another defender to fatten up that back end. Well, what happens if this trip doesn't go very well and all of a sudden those other teams in the East remain hot? Now you're all of a sudden going from buyer to seller. I think it's just a matter of wait and see.
Joe, great stuff, man. Enjoy Alberta. It's a little chilly here, but enjoy the games tonight and tomorrow.
A little chilly? A little. It's freezing in Calgary, and from what I understand, Edmonton's worse. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Get a toucan, Joe. Get a toucan. Awesome. Have a good one, my man.
My pleasure. Thanks again.
There you go. There's Joe Beninati joining us, voice of the Capitals. So John Carlson, smart, I think, a guy who's been there a long time. And, Ovechkin, when you look at his numbers, man, it is, I could easily see why you say, hey, this guy could play another year. Like he's not going to be over dominating by any stretch of imagination, but he's still already got 20 goals in 50 games, right? Like he's got a real good chance to score 30 goals again in a season. But does he have the drive to want to do all the training in the offseason it takes playing the NHL? But he's 43 points in 51 games. I'm trying to think, how many years has Ovi had more assists than goals? I'm looking. So first year, 54 assists, 52. Second year, even. Third, fourth, fifth year, he had 59 apples, 50 assists. Yeah, he's usually had a few years of more. Lately, though, it's been goals, assists, goals. So I think it was 8 of the last 9 he's had more goals and assists. But this year, he's getting a few more apples, up to 23 already, and 20 goals. So, you got to change your game a bit, but he's still an impact player for sure. I'd like to see him come back. I'd just like to see how close he get to 1,000. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Lorianne Munzer joins us as we are a few weeks away from the opening of the Winter Olympics. We'll talk to the gold medalist about that when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Looking for auto parts without the dealership price tag? You'll save big here at Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlaw. From engines and alternators to doors and glass, we carry quality tested used parts at unbeatable prices. Why spend thousands when you can spend hundreds? Keep your car and your budget running strong with Ed's Auto Salvage. I'm Lisa, inviting you to stop in soon or visit us online. We offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. edsautosalvage.com.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 mostly Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$2.49 on a positive Friday. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. Big plans for the weekend. Stay warm. A little chilly out, but hey, it's actually warming up. It was minus 30 this morning. Now it's like minus 18. Feels balmy. Well, maybe not balmy. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean? Like 18 to 30, big difference, man. Big difference. And more than 12-degree difference. You feel it, right? When it's minus 30, you can't even walk 5 feet without being freezing. Minus 18, you're like, stay out there for a while. It's better. Now let's go in the mind. Brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, testing, and solar. They can help you out for any electrical mind, actionelectrical.net, as we are joined by Olympic gold medalist Lori Ann Munzer, and we are a few weeks away, Lori Ann. And one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the Olympics, no question, is the return of Lindsey Vonn. She won Olympic gold in 2010. Then she was injured. She was actually a correspondent in the 2014 Olympics. Then she came back and she actually got 2 bronze in 2018 and then had to retire the next year due to chronic injury and chronic pain in her legs. Everybody thought her career was over. Now she's back at age 41. She's won on tour. Just 5 days ago, she won silver again in a Super G. Like, she's not just coming back at 41 to say, hey, I want to see if I can do it. She's like a legitimate podium threat.
Absolutely. It's like people are saying, oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. Your age, I've always said, is just a number on your driver's license. And people told me it was impossible. You limit those.
How old were you when you won gold?
38.
38. There you go.
38, May, June, July, August. 38 in 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And 3 days. But it's just, you limit those conversations, Jason, because it'll suck the energy out of you. It'll suck the game out of you. It'll suck the race out of you. And that's the worst thing that you can possibly ever do. So you have your circle of influence, your circle of mentors, supporters, cheerleaders, and you really stick like glue with them. They will support you and make sure that, certain things are, people aren't around you for those reasons to take you off your game, because you always want to be on your game to keep that energy, because that energy is a vibration of, hey, I could do this, and you really start to elevate it, or you just lose it completely. And that's where, when it comes down to hundreds and thousands of a second, that's the difference between first place and sometimes last place, or second or third place, or fourth place. And nobody wants that fourth place.
Now, it was interesting. You were talking off air. You believe that her age will actually be an advantage.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of just sheer experience, right?
Totally. Experience is wisdom. It's a number of races you have done. She has failed probably more than we even know. That's one thing we will never, ever know what goes on. But there's certain things that you do. And when you're paying attention, that's the one thing as an athlete, you start to wake up. It's the awareness. And a lot of people are sleeping. A lot of athletes, when they start out, they just don't know. Just ask them a really wide overview question, like, even, what is your goal? And it's really interesting, the answers that come back. And the more dialed you are in, the clearer it gets. And the clearer you get, you start to see things. You can start to slow down events, moves, motions, training like that. And people go, oh, how is that possible? Because you've seen it in your mind before. And because she's been here, done that, experienced this, I think she's going to do it. Kevin and I were going back and forth on this one, Carius and I. And he's like, yeah, no. And I'm like, well, hey, Kevin, they told me that I wasn't going to do it either. And he goes,
I think she has a very good, she just finished silver, right? Now, to win gold and to win silver can be literally 100ths of a second. So you know what, to sit here and say, oh, she's going to, but she easily has a chance to get on the podium, no question, right? She's won on the circuit this year. She's back at a hill where her career began, if you want to talk full circle, right? So there is that experience factor. And you've talked about that, when you race at certain tracks, you just felt better.
Totally. And it's this is where everything lines up. My race number, Jason, when I got my race number 6, I went, done. I know this is going to be good. And
why is that?
Why? Things for me have always happened in multiples of 3.
Oh, okay.
And good things always happen in 3. Bad things happen in 3 too, as well. And it was just, there were so many things that it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I could relate with Lindsay going, hey, I'm going back to Italy. And it's just, I know those places like Manchester, England. Oh my gosh, most beautiful track. I haven't ridden Edmonton. Not sure what that date is going to be, but Manchester. Oh my gosh, I knew that track inside and out, up and down. I knew the sounds of the boards, which ones were loose and which ones were tight, because you don't want to hit a loose one because it's a bit of a whoop and a bit of a soft spot.
Okay.
And there's certain things that, Jason, they just line up, and it's just, you have a knowing that you know what's going to happen.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe we can impart that onto the Oilers. I don't know.
Yeah. It was interesting. Connor McDavid said, hey, we need more urgency in our game. Now,
Yeah.
you want to play with urgency while also playing composed and controlled, right? Just like you compete, you want to be, but so there, it's a very fine line where you can go over, and all of a sudden now you're trying too hard. You're out of position. You make a mistake. You're over rotating on your bike, and now suddenly you're gassed before you get to the final push. There's lots of ways where trying too hard can actually be a detriment. And so when you want urgency, how did you learn to instill urgency while remaining composed?
Oh, that one took a little while. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come quickly. You screw it up more often than not. And it was practice, 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 practice. And part of being a sprinter is you have to be reactive instead of responding. You've got to be so fast. And we call that a jump, because if you only have 3 laps, you don't have 120 kilometers or 100 kilometers to go from point A to point B. There is no margin or room for error. And you just have to practice. You get spanked, you get schooled, you get slaughtered so many times that finally you have to stop thinking about it. And the awareness, that's when it starts to come. And you have to figure out, what is that fine line of when you're going to go over the edge or go, excuse me, for 5 minutes, I have to remove myself. But if you're in the race, you're in the game, you can't just go, pause, I'm not tapping out, but I just need a timeout. That just doesn't happen. And it's, where are you going to go? Where is your red line maxed out before you actually blow and go over the line? But you actually have to rein it in, Jason, is through your breath.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Yeah,
It's
no, I've
just
heard that.
because we stop breathing as we start escalating.
Yeah.
And then the harder you try, the worse it gets. And I tell all of my athletes, let go of the rope. Just let go of the rope. Like if you're playing tug of war or you're playing with the dog, as soon as you let go of the rope with the dog goes, whoa, what are you doing? Like, come on, and then the dog's like following you around. You're like, hey, and it's the same thing. As soon as you let go, which is like surrendering, that's when everything falls into place where it's supposed to. But you've got to have practiced it mentally. You have to have practiced it physically. And it's the alignment of the two of them coming together. It's not just one or the other. It's both at the same time.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast about emotional training the other day. And one of the main focus points was breathing for a lot of people. Like when you because if you want to get your breath back quickly, some people like few breaths, and all of a sudden you slow down your breathing quickly.
Yeah.
You can get there's lots of little different tricks. And it's such a funny thing that your players are on the bench and just sit down and say, hey, take a deep breath and let it out slowly.
Yep.
And just now you'll calm down.
Yep.
Right now you'll calm down.
Do you know why that works? Because just you doing that, I'm like, I just went back in time to 2003, 2004 in the gym because we used to do combat breathing. We used to actually do that in training, like before our starts when we were doing 500s. You'd be held from 0 kilometers an hour, count down, and boom, go. And you have to time it. And it's just one of those things that does the reset. And if you're going to reset, you want to do it twice. Like I used to have a mantra, delete, delete, and I'd take my hand and slap my quads. And it was, if you do delete once, it doesn't really interrupt anything.
Right. Okay.
But when you go delete, delete, or you stomp your feet twice, or you smack your hands twice, it's like, oh, it's that second jolt.
Okay.
Because the first one doesn't always go in or goes down into your subconscious mind, into your body. But you have to do the interruptus, is what I call it, twice. And sometimes you have to do multiple sets of it to reset yourself.
You get to the Olympics, and it is the pinnacle of sports because the whole world's watching. It's one of the rare times where you have lots of sports coming together. Like hockey's going to be there, and skiing's going to be there, and figure skating is going to. So the world is watching of athletic. Now, obviously, maybe track and field different, but we know there's naturally maybe like, do you feel more of the pressure? Because everybody always says, "Oh, I just take it like it's another race," and I get that mentality. You want to do that.
Yep.
Easier said than done. You went through the Olympics, but. Yep. You being at World Championships, and the World Championships, well, for you individually, it's the same. It's not the same focus because when it's the World Championships in cycling, it's only cyclists that are following it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So you get to the Olympics now, and it's how different was it? Can you explain? Even though you tell yourself this is just the same, it's not the same. So is it best not to lie to yourself to say this is just like any other one? What would you do?
It's a bit of both. There is no pressure. You're actually in the pressure cooker. Forget about that.
Okay.
It's even like escalated 100 times. And I believe you have to play and prepare both ways. Like you're in the pressure cooker. If everything goes wrong, then what? If it's going to go right, how are you going to play it? If you have to counter it to come back, what are you going to do? And it's also, Jason, taking a look at where you are. You may literally only come this way once. Stop for a moment, pause, take a look. My coach said to me, because I always had a camera with me, that's when we had film back then, he said, stop and take a look first and then photograph some of that. So that was partly distraction therapy for me because it would take my mind off of, the intensity and the pressure of racing. But it was something that I also loved to do so I could bring out the passion. And sometimes you get to see something different or fun or super candid. Like I've got a great photo with Mark Connolly and Kurt Harnett before I was going to go race. But then Katrina LeMay Doan came by and it was just like conversations. And then, you just make those magic moments and that's literally what they are. But you have to remember to press pause, stop, look around, breathe, of course. And also those people that have been influencers or supporters, bring them around, say thank you. I had my chiropractor, Wilbur Kelsick from BC. He had 2 Olympic Games, 2 Commonwealth Games. Sherry Gross, 2 Olympics, 2 Commonwealth Games. They were the first people that I went to see at the Commonwealth Games, at the Olympics, because I'm like, okay, who are the support team, right? Who's the support staff? And as soon as I saw them, again, like my race number, it was like, just one more check of you don't have to worry. And when you can do those checks on your checklist, hopefully you've made them before, because you should make them, so that at least you have an idea of what you're preparing and getting into. That helps you calm the monkey mind before it takes off on you and takes away your race or your game or your event.
The monkey mind. I like that one.
Well, it's the drunken monkey on acid.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Lorianne. We'll have more Olympics and maybe even more on the Oilers. We'll see what they do next week. They might need to hire you to go do a pep talk for them to get them focused. We'll see. But because I know you'll be fired up going to the Olympics coming up here in just over 2 weeks' time. Should be good.
14 days to go.
There you go. That's Lori Ann Munzer joins us Fridays here on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by Action Electrical. We'll get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. More than just tires. Vehicle repair, oil changes, servicing. They will keep your vehicle on the road. FountainTire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
8 games on the ice tonight in the NHL, getting going at 5 with the Leafs and the Golden Knights as Mitch Marner makes his return. You've also got the Blackhawks and the Lightning, Blues in Dallas, Avs host the Flyers, Flames taking on the Caps, who are in Edmonton tomorrow, Devils and Canucks, Sharks, Rangers, Ducks in Seattle. In the association, Toronto Raptors in Portland just after 8 o'clock. Also the Rockets and the Pistons, Hawks, Suns, Celtics in Brooklyn, and the Pacers taking on the Thunder. Some news from the CFL is they are increasing their salary cap to $6.28 million for the upcoming season. It represents an increase of nearly $220,000 from the $6.06 million it was last season. In the BCHL, the Saints on the road taking on Okotoks, while the Crusaders are in Cranbrook. Both game that's going just after 7 o'clock. In the AJ, you've got 4 games, including Camrose hosting Canmore, and the Bobcats up against the Storm. U of A Sports this weekend, the Golden Bears hockey team in Saskatoon taking on the Huskies tonight and tomorrow. Pandas will host the Huskies tonight at 7, tomorrow at 5. Down at the Saville Center this weekend, we've got volleyball action with the Bears and Pandas hosting Winnipeg. The action gets going tonight at 7, tomorrow at 5. And over at McEwen, the men's hockey program hosting Manitoba, while the women in Winnipeg taking on the Bisons as well. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation. We'll talk some NFL with Frank Schwab and more. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your local
Friday afternoon
with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Connor Halley.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Calamont Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western
14 days to
Canada,
go.
There you go. That's Lori Ann Munzer joins us
whether it's a
Fridays
roomy
here
SUV
on
for
the Jason
family,
Gregor Show.
a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Bowl Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
the Rock and Bowl Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
On the Rocks, YEG.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. We got a lot of text to get to. I like it. We also have a pair of tickets to tonight, courtesy of Natalie, to the Shoresy event. If you would like to go, Cons, we'll give those away coming up before 4 o'clock. How about that? So you have some time. You want to go have a few laughs tonight at the game? Struddy's playing. TR's playing. Schmieder's playing. Get some video. I'm going to guess tonight, Struddy and Schmied, 0 off the boards and outs. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. We got lots and lots of tech. Gregor, where did you say Eddie Steele's going to body slam Karius? Well, that's at the Oil Kings game on Sunday. Of course, you have puck drop is at 4 o'clock. Doors open at 3. The Love Pro wrestling matches begin in the pregame and continue on to intermission. There's 5 total matches. There's some special guests. How about Kevin Karius, guest manager? But will he get in the ring? That's what we want to know. Will he get in the ring? Will Eddie Steele just come out and just maybe Eddie Steele will come in late? You know how it works in wrestling, right? Some people are in the ring. They're chatting. All of a sudden, someone comes from the back, running in, a la Ultimate Warrior, slide into the ring, pick him up, body slam, crowd goes wild. Oh, be a great story. Great story. Connor Halley and I, maybe we should send the script in because we have a few good ideas for the script. So we'll see. I got this text. Hey, Gregor. Think of the Phillip Rivers interview as if you were a minority coach who's been busting their butt in college or even the NFL as assistant. You hear that a former player that has 0 experience except coaching his son's high school team got an opportunity for you. Tell me equal fairness exists in the league. From Dave. Well, Dave, equal fairness, does it exist anywhere in society all the time? It's hard to determine, but I'll say this. Whether they're a minority coach or a white coach and they get overlooked, if you've been a college coach or an assistant coach for 20 years, if you're white, is it any different? Right? Philip, it's like Marty St. Louis. Lots of people thought Marty St. Louis was going to be an epic failure. He had no coaching experience. But when we get into, here's the thing about coaching. when you get to the high levels, like, okay, Marty St. Louis played at the highest level. So he's sat in rooms for 20 years knowing 1-2-1 forecheck, 1-3-1 forecheck, back check, how we break out. Like, there's only so many things you can do. It's not like there's massive systems. Okay, even in football at the end of the day, right? Like, there's, you know what, you've got different defensive schemes and coverages that you want and how you're going to blitz and stuff like that. And you're going to have a run package. But at the end of the day, like Phillip Rivers, is there anything offensively that he hasn't seen or called as a quarterback? Because when you're the quarterback, not only are you calling the offense, a lot of times you're standing there, I see what the defense is doing here. Oh, they're going to come blitz from the strong side. Oh, now maybe they've backed off on the weak side, whatever it is. You're going to see all those things in split second. So coaching, when you have the best players, is a lot of times getting them to get them on the same page. And even at a lower level, if you can convince your kids in U13 hockey the benefits of passing, and it's going to start in practice, and you got to do the same, guys, got to get it on the tape. When you've got a forward busting and you're the defenseman, it's a 15-foot pass. If you put it on his tape, now the play continues. If you miss him or you put it in his skates, all the momentum you have is gone. Right now, it's not like you have some wild thing. Now, you know, you might have somebody who knows how to communicate better, right? That's the key really to coaching is how are you able to, and Phillip Rivers would have lots of information in his brain from playing. He'd know a lot of things, but will he be able to take what he knows and deliver it in a message that the players understand? That's really, you know, so a guy who's been an assistant coach for 20 years, sure, but does that mean he's more qualified than the guy who played for that many years at that position? It's a fantastic question. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. That's why there's lots of different ways to coach. Ken Hitchcock, he never played. Right? One of the greatest coaches ever. Marty St. Louis never coached anywhere. Turned out to be a pretty good coach. So there's lots of different ways to get to the peak of being and obviously the peak would be a professional coach, a head coach at the highest level in your sport, whether that is in football, whether that is in hockey, basketball. Usually that's going to be. Now, for some people, being a college coach, they like dealing with the players that they know it's a limited time that you're going to have them. You know you're only going to have the guy 5 years. Well, I guess except maybe for COVID, there's the odd Sixers, but you know what I mean. Usually you got 5 years, maybe 4. How can you help these? And they're still developing a little bit younger age. Whereas in the pro hockey level, like, you know, what did Ty Emerson say in our show? The NHL is not a developmental league, right? Like, obviously you're always working on your game, but your development has to come from you as a player and all the time and commitment you put in the offseason. No NHL coach, you can send the training package with your players when you leave, and you can even call them, hey, did you do it? Like, unless he sends a video of his workout every day, you don't know if he's working out. You don't know if he's putting in the time to physically be able to get from point A to point B at the quickest period of time. You can as a head coach. So it's a good question, but I don't know, Cons, if I look at it that, like, there's, you can put rules in place, and I understand why the Rooney Rule was put in place. I get it. Racism exists at under levels, no question about it. But we see more head coaches now. They're black, lots of OCs, DCs, right? It's better. Probably never going to be perfect, but just because somebody gets the job doesn't always mean they're only getting it because they're white or they're a minority. Sometimes they're getting it because they're the best person. They're not necessarily the best person for the job. They're the best person that the team hiring thought was for the job.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
At its core, I love the Rooney Rule, right? An equal chance. But you have had so many African coordinators go to these interviews and say, I was never a candidate. Like, I didn't have a chance. I was brought in here for this rule. So this team can, put it out there that I came and interviewed, and that was it. Now, that could open some eyes, right? That could maybe get down the road, help you out. But at the time, it just kind of used as a piece like of meat. Come see this. Oh, we're going to do this. Like we did our due diligence. We had a minority in here for an interview. Never had a chance because we were always going to hire Jim Harbaugh, but we followed the rules. Like, so we've seen minorities speak out against the rule and saying it is kind of a waste of time for a lot of players or coaches who are brought in for this thing. But just going back to River, like the NFL, they don't care about fairness. It's a business. They want to have results. And Phillip Rivers, for the good part of his career, was essentially an offensive coordinator. He's on the field. He's making these things. He's, the play comes in, but he's calling audibles. He's moving players around at the line. He knows more than, I would say, the majority of offensive coordinators in the NFL, and even greater majority in the college football level. So if they want to make this decision, at the end of the day, it's a business decision for them that they think can put them over the top and win. It's a potentially risky one because there's a lot that goes on to be an NFL head coach. But from the offensive standpoint, and I was talking to Declan about this, who is a Bills fan, like Josh Allen, who's going to be part of this coaching search, could fall in love with Phillip Rivers and love what he has to say and, the game plan, scheming, things like that. So it could happen. And unfair, whatever. The NFL isn't a fair league.
No, and the other thing is nowadays with coach, like if you go to the NFL, the NHL, whatever, and you don't have the X and O's, like you'll probably get laughed out of the room. But a lot of it, it's the human aspect of it, and how can you relate? And everybody's going to have a different philosophy. Some coaches will look and say, you know what? Yeah, I want my top guys to play, but if we're going to win, my bottom guys are playing 10 or 11 minutes. They just are. So deal with it. Some coaches do it. Some coaches don't. Right? Like it's like Oiler fans tell me, well, the Oilers will never win if their fourth line isn't playing more. And I'm like, okay. But all you got to do is take 30 seconds of research and you look and say, Florida just won the Stanley Cup final. Right? Did you see how many minutes their fourth line played in the Stanley Cup playoffs? So you can't say for certain that Edmonton won't win unless their fourth line plays more, because it's just not true. Right? What happened was you had guys on their forward groups, right? Jonas Gadjevich, AJ Greer, now they didn't play every game, right? They rotated around. Thomas Nosek, and they averaged, like Greer and Gadjevich played 7.5 minutes each, and they played 16 games each. Nico Stern played 8 games. He played 8:59, so basically 9 minutes. Right? Jesper Boquist, he played 13 games. He played 9:33. So there's 4 guys that rotate, add their numbers up, and that's going to get you your fourth line. And they averaged 8 minutes a game. Now, here's the thing. AJ Greer, 2 goals, 3 points. Jonas Gadjevich, 2 goals, 3 points. Jesper Boquist, 2 goals, 5 points. They made the most of their minutes. That's what happened. Right? This theory that you've got to play them more, you don't have to play them more unless they're going to contribute. It's just that simple. And now the difference was Greer and Gadjevich, their minutes, they had a specific role. They were physical. They were mean, right? They didn't get scored on a whole bunch. Nosek was a +4 player. Gadjevich was a +3 player, right? Boquist was a +1 player. The only guy who was a minus was AJ Greer. And one of the goals he was on, weirdly, was an empty net goal. So, you always have to look a little bit deeper into things. I think Edmonton's fourth line, you have to have an identity. You can't have a bunch of fourth line guys who aren't physical, right? Who aren't yappy. Like, what are they doing? If they're just skating around, it's kind of hard for them to contribute in the game and make an impact, at least for me. So we welcome in Wanye Gretz. Wanye, how you doing?
Well, I'll tell you, it's cold out there, Gregor.
Yeah. Warming up, though. It's colder this morning.
Woof.
Jeez. I always know when it's cold when I let the dog out, and it's like a sprint to see how fast she can go to the washroom. It'll be a pee, and you're back at the door, and I'm like, no. Come in, and it looks at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, and so we train our dog because we had I luckily enough had the pleasure of working with dogs with wings. And when we had those dogs, I had learned that if you say busy, busy, that's for them. They go outside, they go to the washroom. So we trained our dog from a young age, say busy, busy, go outside. And literally she can go to the washroom on the spot. So if I say it, boom, she goes to the washroom. So when it's cold out, I'm saying busy, busy, in and out. And it was the greatest thing ever.
Why busy, busy?
Well, that was the word they use with dogs with wings. Because I don't know, something about the sound of it that they understand, they relate to it, simple. And away you go. So, dog would get a treat. So as a puppy, we trained her. So our dog now, like anytime if we want to go on a trip, or if I have to leave the house and I'm going to be gone for a few hours, so I never have to worry about it. Like, she's old enough now, it wouldn't matter. But when she was younger, you'd always take her outside, busy, busy, done. Comes back in, gets her little one treat, boom. Now she goes on command.
Will that work with 5-year-old Wanye Jr.?
Well, I think no, because he's like a kid. You get in the car for 20 minutes, like all of a sudden I have to go to the washroom. That's just part of parenting. That's the kid's way of saying, you know what? Screw you for wanting to be organized so much. Because there's in the household, whether it's the mom or the dad or the two moms, the two dads, whatever it is, there's always someone who's a little bit more anal on wanting to be on time, right? Dads like to make good time. We don't necessarily want to leave on time. We just want to make good time. What do you mean you got to go to the washroom? Here's a big cup. Use your water bottle. Let's just keep driving, right? Come on. Don't say you haven't thought about it. You might have done it. But there are some who are like, okay, let's get ready. We got to leave right now. And then you know what? Something gets delayed. You learn as you get through. I'm sure most parents will tell you, second, third kid, they're a little bit more relaxed. They realize, you know what? It's going to be a 3-hour trip. Let's plan for it to be a 3-hour and 45-minute trip. Then you're just better. You're having realistic expectations. And then there's less serenity now.
There's a lot of negotiating in my house with a 5-year-old. He's surprised that we have to go to school in what he considers to be the middle of the night because it's dark.
Oh, yeah. Early in the morning. Oh, dude. What do you mean, Dad? Why are we going to school? It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, I know. It's still dark out.
This is it. Like, why do we have to leave? It's the middle of the night. No, it's actually 7:30 in the morning. It's the middle of the night. So now I'm just going to go busy.
Yeah.
See if that gets him going.
Yeah, see if it works.
Maybe.
Try it. Yeah. Try it. I don't think you can just start, though. Like, we had to build at a young age. So I guess you can start anytime, but you're not going to have instant results.
5's too old?
Well, maybe it is. I've never trained it. Like, my kid knows when to go to the washroom. I asked the question, do you need to go to the washroom? They know. Yes or no?
Oh, he knows when to go to the washroom. I just want him to do everything faster at a faster pace. I thought busy might just sort of speed him up a bit.
Yeah. 3:23. Quick break. When we return, we are going to chat a little playoffs, because who doesn't love playoffs, baby? Next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Friday rolls through. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday. Big plans for the weekend. Hey, maybe your plans include a little Lotto Max. Get your tickets, playalberta.ca. 10 million up for grabs. That would be a nice way to kick off your weekend. Wake up Saturday morning, ding dong, check your ticket. Big time winner. Woo. God, what would you do? Imagine if you just woke up on a random Saturday, check your ticket, $10 million win. God, what would you do? I think the number one thing I would do is not tell anyone right away, like maybe your spouse. But I'd be like, I got to have a plan here. I got to have a financial plan. Got to have something. What I want to do.
Do you think you could keep it secret from your spouse? Wouldn't you be?
No, I just said you could tell your spouse. As long as you know you're supposed to say, hey, you got to this is a pinky swear. We're not telling anyone.
Can you trust your spouse not to tell? If you won $10 million, are they going to be so excited? They're going to be so excited. They're going to be.
I could trust my spouse. Yes. I don't know if some people. Well, I know there's some people out there can trust their spouse because there's some people you like that you're really good friends with, and them in your friend circle. Some people like, I can't tell them something because they'll tell someone. Some people just aren't good secret keepers. They can't. They can't do it.
I feel like most people think if they only tell one person,
but
it doesn't count as telling, but it does.
Of course it does.
Of course it does.
Yes. Don't tell anyone. Well, I just told one person. That's someone. That's how it works. Let's get to our playoff report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 full year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. And you know what? It's a little cold outside. You don't want to go outside? No problem. You got some NFL playoffs to watch. The conference finals. Patriots and the Broncos. And, of course, the Rams and the Seahawks. As Frank Schwab from Yahoo Sports, NFL writer, joins us. And, Frank, let's start in the AFC, where there's a little disappointment, obviously, the injury to Bo Nix. And, everybody in Denver saying, hey, man, we got a lot of faith in Stidham, and we think he's going to be really good. Does anyone know how good this guy could be potentially in this game?
Not really. I mean, it's hard because he hasn't played in a while. But what I've always said is, Jared Stidham's not a bad backup quarterback. We just haven't seen him play in 2 years. The Broncos have told you what they think about him. The first day of the first offseason of Sean Payton in Denver, they signed Stidham to a 2-year, $10 million deal. When he was up again for free agency this offseason, they signed him to a 2-year, $12 million deal. That's pretty good money for a backup. He's one of the higher paid backups in the league.
Yeah,
that tells you what you need to know about what the Broncos think of him. They value him. They just haven't needed him. Bo Nix has been healthy and he hasn't played. But, when Sean Payton comes out and says, hey, I'm not worried about Stidham. I'm worried about everybody else. I think he's genuine with that. I think he's pretty comfortable with Jared Stidham. Now, is there going to be rust? Yes. There's nerves involved with a guy who is making his 5th NFL career start and doing it in an AFC championship game. But I've got to buy it. I do buy that the Broncos are not really that worried about Jared Stidham. And another part of this is, look, Bo Nix has had 2 good years, but they're not exactly replacing Patrick Mahomes here, right? This isn't Josh Allen to Mitch Trubisky. This is, all right, Bo Nix has been up and down. We've talked about that all year, right? We're talking about how the Broncos offense disappears for quarters at a time. So why is it's not such a high bar for Jared Stidham to get over? I think he's going to play fine. I really do. For whatever preseason is worth, he was absolutely awesome this preseason. He has had good starts, and his 4 starts in the NFL include some pretty good performances. Maybe I'm just talking myself into this because I want a good game, but I don't think Stidham's going to be the problem on Sunday.
Okay, so then what's going to be the problem for the Broncos offense against the defense of the Patriots?
The problem is they haven't run the ball well all year. I think that, they drafted R.J. Harvey. They expected him to really be a guy that they can lean on in a running game. And that just hasn't happened. He, for whatever reason, has just kind of been just okay. There's not many breakaway runs. There's not many 120-yard games. He's just been fine. And now they could get J.K. Dobbins back this week. I don't know about that. I think we're still waiting on official word of that. I haven't seen anything come across that he's been cleared.
It was just ruled out actually as we speak. Just across
ruled out. Okay,
yeah.
So and that's the thing. You asked me what the issue is for the Broncos offense. If I was them, and you are going to need. Look, Stidham's not going to come out and throw for 350 yards. I don't think that's realistic. So you need the running game to support him. I think the question for them is, can they have a run game that gets 120 yards on 4 yards of carry? I think that they need to generate something off of the run game just to take some pressure off of their new starting quarterback.
Now let's go to the other side. The Broncos defense has been very good all year long. Now you go up against the Patriots and Drake May, who seems fairly unflappable. How do they get him off his game?
And it's pass rush. I mean, that is been their calling card all year. They led the NFL in sacks and were 11 more sacks than the second best team. That's what it's going to be. Pressure up the middle, pressure from the edges with Benito and Cooper. That's how they get it. And the thing is, when you go into a game like this, no matter how much confidence they have in Stidham, you have to feel defensively you're going to have to make a play, or at least one, two. Like, we're talking about turnover in a good field position, even a score off of a turnover like the Patriots got last week. I think that's the goal for the Broncos defense. It's not just to play well and hold Drake May in that offense to 17 points, but also you need to help out. You need to, hey, we just picked off Drake May by the goal line, and here you go, Jared. The ball's at the 8-yard line. Some of those type of plays, and I think they can do it because they have the personnel for it, and it starts with that pass rush, which has just been phenomenal all year. Best pass rush in the NFL.
Yeah, no, it has been very good. So, and when you look at this Patriots team coming in, like, a lot of people are like, oh, look at the Patriots record, and now their opponents, and now they're getting Bo Nixless Broncos, and I'm like, well, you know what? Sure, a lot of those numbers probably are fair. And do I think the Seahawks Rams winner will be the favorite in the Super Bowl? I do, but you also can't discount the Patriots just because of their schedule.
I completely agree. I mean, for one, they beat the Bills, they beat the Texans, they beat the Chargers. Like, they're not incapable of beating good teams. They have done that, and I think it gets blown out of proportion. This is the NFL. This ain't college, right? You can't schedule the Citadel for homecoming. Like, you are playing NFL teams week in, week out, and the strength of schedule to me is it's varying degrees. It's okay. You had the 32nd toughest schedule in the NFL. The difference between first and 32nd is not that great. It is not like you're playing in, the MAC. Like, it's just not. Like, you're playing NFL competition week in, week out. And if you go to this point 16-3 against those teams, counting playoffs, I really don't care who you've played. I think it's totally blown out of proportion. And honestly, I think one of the reasons it was blown out of proportion is because people want Matt Stafford to win MVP. Like, honestly, I've been covering the NFL for 25 years. I've been watching the NFL my whole life. I have never heard an MVP come down to, well, who had this tougher strength of schedule?
Never. I agree. Never.
Not one time in my life, but people want to make an excuse for voting. And Matthew Stafford's a fine pick. They don't need an excuse, but they retrofit it. They're like, oh, well, the strength of schedule, look at this. That's never been an argument in my lifetime. Just like last year when it devolved into, well, Lamar Jackson's a better player, but who's got worse teammates? What are we doing here? Like, what are we really, truly doing? So, yes, I think the long story short, the strength of schedule at the Patriots has been absolutely positively overblown. And it just means very, very little to me.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Let's switch over to the Rams and the Seahawks. And, man, the Seahawks spanked the 49ers. Now, I know the 49ers were a little bit banged up, but doesn't matter. Right from the opening kickoff, literally from the opening kickoff.
Literally, yeah.
It was the Seahawks dominating that game. The Rams are obviously very good, but the Seahawks defense has been stellar. If you're the Rams offense, how do you think you can break down that defense?
Yeah, and they obviously came up with some answers. I looked, you look at previous matchups to get some clues on how do you match up well, how the Rams beat this team, how do the Seahawks beat this team. You look at this tells you all you need to know. First meeting, Matthew Stafford throws for 130 yards. He did not throw for less than 181 in any other game. Second meeting, he throws for 457 yards. And they won the game where he threw for 130, and they lost the game where he threw for 457. So go figure that out. Obviously, they figured some things out. Puka went absolutely nuclear in that game. We all remember that game. Great game. And so, but now it's the Seahawks' turn to adjust. And I think Mike McDonald will. He's a great defensive coach. Their defense has been, other than that game, weirdly enough, their defense has been playing great. Like the two matchups against the 49ers, you don't expect a Kyle Shanahan team to just get whooped like that. And they absolutely did. So going to be very interesting. Do we get closer to the 130-yard game from Matt Stafford, or do we get closer to the 457-yard game from Matt Stafford? I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Seahawks play it differently to keep Puka Nacua just from Puka's going to get his. He's going to get 100 yards. Like you just start with that off the top, but you got to make sure it's not 150, 200, 220 and 3 touchdowns. You got to make sure he doesn't go off like that, like he did in the last meeting.
Frank Schwab joins us from Yahoo Sports, setting up the NFC and AFC championships this weekend in football. Seattle has obviously the home field advantage. It's the loudest place maybe in the NFL. I think it's crazy loud. What do you make of Darnold and the oblique and they didn't really need him last week? He didn't have to throw a ton. The running game was excellent. Walker's their best running back, but they did go, I think it was like 216 touches to 184 or something like that between the two of them. Mm-hmm. But now he's the main guy. Now there's only 2 games left. But what do you make of all of a sudden kind of having just a one-man running back attack and how that might impact Walker throughout the game, if at all?
Right, and I mean that's a big injury for them because I mean, as is the case for most NFL teams, they really don't have a third guy. They didn't have any other back get more than 22 carries this season. So, and Kenneth Walker, very good player, obviously played well last week. He hasn't carried more than 19 times in a game this year. Like this is. Hey, is Kenneth Walker really going to carry 32 times in this game? I don't know. He hasn't done it yet this season. So where do they get, any kind of Zach Charbonnet-esque production from another running back? I think that's a big deal for them because they're going to need it. And you mentioned Darnold, and I think it's been kind of fascinating. Like he played last week and everybody forgot that he has an oblique injury. Like it's not been talked about. Like everybody talked about it all last week. And then he played, and everyone's like, oh, well, he's fine. Well, he had to throw 17 times. I don't think we really know if Sam Darnold's healthy or not because he played a very low-stress game. It made a nice play on the touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba and all that. But what happens this week, he's going to have to throw it 35 times because of the injury to Charbonnet, because the Rams are a good football team. They're not getting blown out 41-6. I guarantee you that. How does Darnold look when you have to come through and again, throw 35, 38, 40 times? I'm very interested to see that. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't know. I don't think we answered that question last week when they won 41-6 when, like you said, the game was pretty much over after the opening kickoff.
When you look at the, both teams, health factors, all those things, who do you like to be representing each conference at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and it's in the NFC, I truly do think it's 50-50. Maybe I'll say 51-49 and go with the Seahawks. These are the 2 best teams in football, and they have been all season. Like they're very, very good, very well coached. They know each other, obviously, from the division. I'll take the Seahawks because one thing I do like for the Seahawks side of it is the home field for sure, but also they've had a lot more rest the last couple of weeks. You think about their last 2 weeks. They had a bye week. And then they had a 41-6 game against the 49ers. It was very low stress. The Rams go to Carolina. They win with 34 seconds left, I believe. They go to the Bears where it's frigid cold. They win in overtime. Those are 2 high-stress games. So I think Seattle's just a little more rested than the Rams right now. And I think that these teams are so close that small edges like that might really, really matter. And in the AFC, look, maybe I'm just talking myself into it. I'm going with the Broncos. I think the Broncos rally around Jared Stidham. I think Stidham plays well. I think this is the type of team that can be set up well to win with their backup quarterback. I said it. Like Bo Nix has been fine, but he ain't Josh Allen. Like they can do this. And I also I'm based out here in Colorado. I covered the game last week, and I was struck by Sean Payton's. We could say either confidence or arrogance, and I think either one is fine because I don't think Sean Payton backs away from the fact that he has an ego. I think Sean Payton, right? Like,
everybody has one.
We know. And I think Sean Payton did not want to lose Bo Nix. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say that. I'm not getting crazy here, but I think there's part of me that where Sean Payton figured out, okay, Bo Nix is done. I'm going to go win a Super Bowl with my backup quarterback. I'm going to go show the world that I can go do this. And I think that that's been the attitude all week of just, hey, people want to count us out. That's fine. We're going to go win this game with Jared Stidham. And I think that's Sean Payton to a T. I think Sean Payton is reveling in this challenge. I really do. Like, again, he didn't want this. You don't sign up for this. But now that it's here, I think he's like, in his mind, I win a Super Bowl with this guy, you might as well start my 5-year clock to Canton, Ohio. Because if he wins a Super Bowl, Jared Stidham, he's a lock for the Hall of Fame at that point. I think we all agree on that. Like, so I really like and again, maybe I'm talking myself into it because it's a cool story, but I like the Broncos. I think the Broncos win on Sunday.
All right. What do you make of Phillip Rivers? I don't know if you follow hockey or not, but Marty St. Louis was basically coaching his son's team in minor hockey, and the Montreal Canadiens hired him, and he's been, and he's been a real good. Wasn't instant success, but it's been pretty darn good success right away for them. You think Phil Rivers could go and be a head coach in the NFL next season?
I don't. I don't know where this came from. It just was. I don't get it. I really don't. If you're going to fire Sean McDermott, who's taking you to playoffs every year, winning division just about every year, and pivoting to Phillip Rivers, like I like Phillip. I don't want to speak bad about him. Like I don't want to sit here and like say he can't do this or that, or say. But really, you're trusting a team that wants to win a Super Bowl now. And I think there's different. Look, if the Raiders were to hire Phillip Rivers, if the Cardinals were to hire Phillip Rivers, I would say, okay, that's fine. You're shooting high. He's got a couple years to figure this out. The Bills are the opposite. The Bills, if you don't win a Super Bowl in year one, you are on the hot seat. We know that. We just saw it. We just saw a guy go to the divisional round of the playoffs, lose in overtime, and get fired. So if you don't make a Super Bowl year one, you have failed already. You are behind the eight ball, and you're really putting that on Phillip Rivers, who's never coached above high school. Like I'm stunned by. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how serious they are. I don't know anything of the sort. And maybe Phillip Rivers is going to be the next great coach. We don't know, but I think that's way, way, way too risky of a hire when the clock is ticking on Josh Allen.
Yeah. So basically the big question will be this weekend. Can Stidham become the Frank Reich? Because I don't know if you remember the 1992 Buffalo Bills when Jim Kelly got injured. That's the only time that a team had a different starting quarterback in the division round and then in the conference championship and won. That was Frank Reich in 92. The Bears in 98 lost. The Houston Oilers in 97 lost. The Rams in 75 lost. And the Cowboys in 72 lost. But the last one has won. So maybe the Broncos can go 2 in a row from 1992 to 2025.
That's great history. I love that. And, this is such an extreme case. Like, it's hard to say anything in the NFL is unprecedented because we've kind of seen it all. But this is literally unprecedented. Like, this is... Stidham is the first quarterback to make his first, start in the playoffs without throwing a regular season pass since Joe Webb back with the 2012 Vikings. And like you said, Staubach, we could say, the other quarterback to make a first start in the season in the conference championship round was Roger Staubach. Well, Roger Staubach's a Hall of Famer who got hurt in the preseason that year. Craig Morton just took off with the job for a while. Like, we cannot compare Jared Stidham with Roger Staubach. So, this is completely unprecedented. This is just one of a kind. And I like that. I'm fascinated by this. Jared Stidham is 2 wins away from being immortal. And I'm not overstating that because I can tell you every quarterback who's played in the Super Bowl. Most of us can. I would not have remembered Jeff Hostetler's career. I remember him now. And when I bring him up, you're like, oh yeah, he beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. I would not have really probably remembered Trent Dilfer's career, but I bring him up and you're like, yep, 2000 Ravens. That's Jared Stidham wins 2 more games. That's it. You win 2 more games, and we will be sitting, my grandchildren will be sitting here in 2065 and saying, oh, yeah, Jared Stidham, he won the Broncos that Super Bowl when he had to play in the championship game. Like, that's fascinating to me, how this guy is thrust into this situation, playing with house money, basically, because nobody expects him to win.
Yep.
And if he wins 2 more games, he's one of those guys who the next time a quarterback goes down in the divisional round, everybody's going to say, instead of saying Jeff Hostetler or Nick Foles, everybody's going to say, oh yeah, this is just like the Jared Stidham situation, and they won Super Bowl 60. So I am fascinated by the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, if they not only won this week, but then managed to beat the Seahawks or the Rams, that would be epic because I think whoever wins the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. But we will
I do
see.
too, yeah.
Frank, great to catch up with you, man. I appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the games.
Absolutely appreciate it.
That is Frank Schwab joining us from Yahoo Sports. And hey, the Rams-Seahawks game should be outstanding. And, I think he's got something about it's not like Bo Nix was like a dominant quarterback, but he has been their quarterback. And you can't overlook that. He's the guy that got him to win all these games. And it is going to be a change. How big of a step back? I don't know until we see. But if you're the Patriots, man, I'd be bringing the heat early and often to see how he handles it.
Who do you think wins the Super Bowl?
Well, whoever wins the NFC game. And I think that's a pick'em game. I picked the Seahawks, but I don't feel like if somebody says I picked the Rams, I'd be like, yeah, I get why. Like, the Rams are good. The Seahawks are good. I just hope that game lives up to the hype. I think that game should be very good. I don't have a lot of faith that the Patriots-Broncos game would be exciting. I hope I'm wrong, right? Like, I hope both of them are a little back and forth. Like the Seahawks game against the 49ers was an unreal game to start. Sitting there and watching, oh my God, a kickoff return, you're into the game. But then by halftime, you're like, all right, game's over. Like, I don't really have to watch anymore. So You know what? I'm sure Seahawk fans are like, are you kidding me? This was unreal. We want another blowout. Brad, our producer Brad, is a huge Seahawk fan. I think he actually has tickets to the game on Sunday. So we'll see. Bradley, he'll be flying high if they win. So that'll be good. We'll take a quick break. Speaking of tickets, do you want to go see Shorzy tonight and Shorzy against the Oilers alumni? We got some tickets we'll give away next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company. And now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to
in
take a look
2008.
back.
Just
Thank you
5
to
days
everyone
ago,
that's
she
been
won
with us along
silver
the
again
way.
in the Olympics. Then she came.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like you know what I mean?
bringing home
Like
the
18
cup?
to 30.
Awesome, but completely outside your control.
And more than
Instead,
12.
pick
So
something
you
you
just- you
can
feel it,
control,
right?
like bringing home
When it's
some
minus 30, you
Will
can't even walk
Jerky.
5
That
feet.
would also
Now let's
be
go.
awesome.
But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhock beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhock beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today.
Just
Because
over
you
2
don't
weeks'
win
time,
cups
should be.
with salad.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy mouthwater,
Now let's go.
100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
350. How are you? Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We're going to have a very easy trivia question today. Very easy. This will get you in the draw if you want to go to the Oilers alumni and Shorzy. And Cons, these are low seats, are they not?
We'll take a look here.
I'm pretty sure they are.
They are.
Yes. So you'll have some low seats for tonight's game. Classy. Keep it classy to go to the game tonight. Oilers and the squad of Shorzy. So they have a lot of fun there. Lots of chirps. You can get a bird's eye view of Strudwick and Schmid. Try to count the completed passes from those two. That's what I'd like to see tonight. So, very easy question. Text in your answer, 833-401-1440. Which NHL team drafted Terry Ryan in the first round of the National Hockey League draft? Okay, which team? I'm not going to say what year. Which team? 833-401-1440.
Does Stretty get power play time tonight?
Ooh. I mean, do they call penalties or do they just have penalty shots? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Well, it's a good question. But if I'm looking at the roster, like, so you got Jason Smith. Like, they don't really have a lot of guys. Chris Joseph's playing. No, Chris Joseph would be on the power play for sure. I had to Stretty. I don't know if Stretty ever even played the power play in junior. I'm going to say no. Right? And I don't even know if he ever played the power play in the Scotiabank Pro-Am. So, now if there's the penalty kill, he'll be out there. Right? He'll probably, though, you know what, though? I think he'll be like Martin Marincin on the penalty kill. It looks like he's going to get in the lane to block the shot. It's not really getting in the lane to block the shot. Right? That's Cons. How many times do you think Strutty goes Martin Marincin tonight? Look like you're getting in the lane, but you're not really in the lane.
You know, Strutty, like, I don't want to say verbatim, but he kind of said, like, this is an offensive night for him. These types of games, he's an offensive player. You should see the numbers he puts up. Incredible, I think, was the word he used.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, he's not blocking shots.
What does he think? He's some president who just makes up stuff that no one can look into? I think he is. It's our body. Unbelievable. I'm the greatest in these games. The greatest. I like it. So we'll give you a few minutes. We got, you know what? A lot of our listeners know the right answer. So that's always good. Nice. And then Cons will do a random draw. He'll put on his machine, throw it in, and then they just randomly spit out a number who answered. And you could be going to see Shorzy tonight, courtesy of Natalie. So there you have it.
I hope he goes Jake Sanderson post game. Lets us
just rips on the goalie.
Need bad defense. Goalie wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be unbelievable. It'd be great. No, he wouldn't do it. I don't think he's too nice. I don't think he could do it. Could do it. So, a few other texts coming in. We got a lot of people fired up today. I like it. Well, you're fired up. I didn't get you fired up. They're fired up. Greg's, I'm trying to stay calm and not be concerned. But these last two games have me very concerned. I look at the Oilers' depth, and I just don't think they have enough to make it in the playoffs. What say you? Concerned Charlie. CC? Well, right now, it's fair to have some concern over the depth scoring of the Oilers. I will say this. Now, Leon Draisaitl dressed last night, but Leon Draisaitl got off the plane after 9 hours, and I totally would have played him too if I'm Chris Knobloch. I'm not knocking him, but like jet lag's a legit thing, right? Especially to try to play in an NHL game. I think Draisaitl will have a very good sleep tonight or last night, probably another one tonight. He'll be better. Kasperi Kapanen could come back in. So now if Kapanen's in and Draisaitl's in, well, your depth is a lot better, right? And so the Oilers haven't had a lot of games all year. So when I look at Hyman, let's just say for fun, Hyman, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Podkolzin, Roslovic. Then you've got Kapanen, you got Savoy. I think they're missing one more right now. I think Isaac Howard in the future can be a guy. I don't think he's there yet. I've liked Curtis Lazar's game, no problem. Janmark, he And I don't think he can score in a brothel right now. Trent Frederick, not doing a whole bunch. Andrew Mangiapane, doing virtually less. So that's the problem. But it's your fourth line. So it's like 8 minutes. And it's like, can those guys just not get scored on? At this point, that's what you're going to look at. So I do think, like, Kasperi Kapanen, when he came back in, like, it wasn't a shock to me at how well he played. And so that's a big-time contributor to your team, as long as he can stay healthy. And I think if he can get back in here, like, this was very short term, whether he plays tomorrow or Monday, I think they need another forward. Then I think they got 9 good forwards. Then you look and say, okay, can Janmark roll back the clock one more time to be, because the Janmark in the playoffs suddenly plays better. We all know that. He's got a shoulder problem. And I don't know if it's ever going to be fixable. That's the concern for me. But I like Lazar. And I look, could Trent Frederick be Connor Brown of 2 years ago? Remember Connor Brown at this time? People like Connor Brown, what, did he go like 50 games without a goal? Maybe even more? And you're like, this guy doing nothing. But then he kind of found his way. And he was really good. And he's a good contributor in the postseason. Like, Trent Frederick hasn't just lost all his NHL ability. Right now, it's MIA for sure. So I think there's a chance he could come back. So I will say I think the Oilers' offense, they have enough. My concern is, do the Oilers, and maybe they just flip the switch to find consistency. But consistency has been the biggest area lacking in their game. And it's defensive consistency. I think it's making the right read consistency. And we've seen in the past, when they get to the playoffs, Zach Hyman and other guys, they'll be way more physical. So I'm not that concerned about it. If you could find a skilled winger who has a little bit of bite to his game, unreal. Problem is that list is incredibly short. There's not a lot of guys out there like that. So I do think Edmonton has enough to want to score. It's will they have enough to defend? That's going to be their question. Until they win, that's going to be the question all the time.
The 2 games before, they did win 11-0.
Yeah, against like 2 pretty bad teams.
But the
still,
answer's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
between panic and thinking they're going to win every 2 games.
Like that Islander game, they played really well. They just couldn't score. That's going to happen every now and then. But the last 5 of the last 6 periods have been absolute hogwash. So now, can you come back and you play well against Washington, you play well against Anaheim? You can still salvage it, but they got to get going here on home ice specifically. And at some point, they have to show a pulse that if they give up the first goal, it doesn't mean guaranteed loss night. Because that's what it's been 22 out of 26 games. When they've given up the first goal, they've lost. And that's just way, like, there's only 3, and it's like the worst teams in the league that are worse than them in that. So they've got to find a little bit more of a spine if they give up the first goal. That's what I see. When we come back, Craig Button will join us. We'll have Tater, Mark Spector, Alan Mitchell, and we'll announce our winner. Somebody's going to go to the game, courtesy of Natalie, to see Shorzy and the Oilers alumni tonight. But first, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by, are you hungry? You're like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook. Well, you want healthy meals, chef prepared, delivered right to your door. Well, meals.loca, LOCA.com. Very simple. You go on it, you look it up, and boom, they will deliver it right to your door this weekend. Meals.loca.ca. Meals.loca.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
8 games tonight in the NHL. Mitch Marner makes his return to Toronto as the Golden Knights take on the Leafs. You've also got the Blackhawks and Lightning, Blues and Stars, Avs host the Flyers, Caps in Calgary, Canucks host the Devils, Rangers, Sharks, and the Kraken up against the Ducks. In the association, Toronto continues their West Coast trip in Portland, taking on the Blazers. Tip-off just after 8 o'clock. Also the Rockets and the Pistons, Celtics in Brooklyn, Cavs host the Kings, Pacers taking on the Thunder, and the Bucks host the Nuggets. Canadian Football League is increasing its salary cap to $6.28 million for the upcoming season. That's a rise of nearly $220,000 from last year. CFL also providing an additional $50,000 per club towards preseason compensation for veteran players. In the BCHL, Saints on the road down in Okotoks, while the Crusaders up against Cranbrook. Both games just after 7 in the AJ. 4 games tonight, including Camrose hosting Canmore, and the Bobcats taking on the Storm. U of A Sports, the Golden Bears hockey in Saskatoon taking on the Huskies tomorrow and tonight. Pandas doing the same, but they'll host tonight at 7 tomorrow at 5. At the Saddle Center this weekend, you've got volleyball action with the Bears and Pandas hosting Winnipeg, and over at McEwen, the men's hockey program hosting Manitoba, while the women in Winnipeg taking on the Bison. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, hear Cam Tate's doing it warning, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Calamont Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Welcome back, Jason.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency
I'm Colin
solar
Livingston.
panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Succession is one of the most important transitions for any family farm. The Bridging the Gap Farm Transition Farm Management Canada and partners helps families plan together, from communication and timing to financing and building a strong transition team. Agriculture Financial Services proudly sponsors this one-day event in Edmonton, January 29th. Reserve your spot today at afsc.ca. Bridging the Gap. We'll build the next generation together.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.406. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you on a Friday afternoon. We course, in Toronto, Vegas is playing the Maple Leafs tonight. It's the return of Mitch Marner, which of course has the city all over. Man, there's some restaurants that are getting in on it. They've got billboards up about it. It's a pretty big deal in that market. Like Edmonton's. I'm trying to think. Edmonton has never really had a player that left that the fans were really mad at, where they're just like, God, I can't stand this guy.
What about Ryan Smith?
No, you weren't mad at Smith. You got mad at the organization.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's different.
Chris Pronger?
Oh, close. Yeah, that's not a bad one, Cons. So he was here for a year, but yeah, not a bad one. Yeah. But even that, I don't like you read some of the stuff online and like it's still there. Like, because he was part of the team for 9 years and it was like Chris Pronger. Well, fans would get mad. They're like, yeah, but he got us to sound like a final. You know what I mean? Like there was Mitch Marner didn't get him to the third round. Right, got in the second round once. I can't remember, but once maybe. And it's interesting. And he's a local guy. But there is like the reaction will be fascinating. I think there's a lot of people who will be cheering, but there'll be a lot of people booing too. It's going to be an emotionally charged game in Toronto tonight. And if somebody has no stake in the game, I don't really watch a lot of Leafs. Like they're, it's not like you can't find them. They're on every freaking night, it seems, if you want to, but it's kind of a game where I'm like, we might be turning that on in studio tonight when it gets going.
Do you think they would do it all again if they could rewind the clock, or would cooler heads prevail? They find a way to stay together.
Well, did you read Elliot Friedman's article? I found it quite interesting about like some of the things like, Mitch was mad that he didn't get a full signing bonus, which Lou Lamoriello never did. Like that's a fact, even though he only got hired there, but it was still one of like, it's not hard. You can say, oh, they were down the line in negotiations and Lou got hired. Yeah, so Lou gets hired, and guess what? Now the buck stops here with him. So all the work, you might have negotiated lots with the agent, right? You're the agent, Wanye, and I'm like, okay, we got this. Here are the signing bonuses. 5 days, Lou Lamoriello comes in. Guess what, guys? Under my watch, we don't do full signing bonuses. What? Yeah, but I talked to Wanye. Was Wanye in charge? He was 5 days ago. He's not now. Things change. Like, that's just business. So, and the fact, and by the way, he wasn't a number 1 overall pick. He was a number 4 overall pick. Different. No one was talking about Mitch Marner leading into the draw, because it was McDavid's draft. But you know what I mean? Like, it was different. So not everybody's even. And even if, like, why would you still be upset about that when they gave you a $60+ million contract? Like, as I was reading that article from Elliot, I was just kind of like, wow, this is, this is pretty odd. But some people, like, I'm sure some people out there, and it's okay. Some people hold a grudge. And that motivates them, and they have success off of holding a grudge. So it can work both ways. Maybe his motivation was like, you know what, I'm mad at the organization. I'm just going to keep going and, whatever. And then I think had Toronto even got to a conference final a few times and Mitch Marner had scored a few big goals, I think both sides come to an agreement. I firmly believe that. But because of the lack of goals for Mitch Marner in the playoffs, because the lack of success by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, Mitch Marner had 13 goals in 70 playoff games for, 13 and 70, right? Like that. It's not like just not showing up. It's so I'm looking, he had 1 year, 2 years where he was over a point a game in the postseason, right? And they did win 2 years, and 23 and 25, they won, they won a playoff round. Great. But it's kind of fascinating to see, how this one plays out. And when I was reading Elliot, like a lot of stuff, I don't pay that much attention to the drama of sports sometimes. It's just not something that interests me a whole lot. So I probably don't like reality TV. I'm like, okay, it's too much drama here. I'm not a big fan of it. But I read Elliot's article and was just kind of like, wow, like, I'm surprised that's something that would still bother you. But I also learned, like, the agent had to call his parents and say, you're not buying a house in Vegas. Like, your kid's 20. He's not a kid anymore, right? Like, he's 28 years of age. What do you mean you're moving to Vegas? Right? Like, imagine having to be an agent say, because that's where, so sometimes I'm like, hey, you might be that way because if that's what you're taught from, right? We're all a product of our own environment. Your parents might be the best, and there's still something they did that has you, a little off in certain areas of your life. It's just normal. Any parent out there, you do your best. You're like, oh, well, might have missed that one. That's fine. But when there's real obvious ones like that, it's a little surprising that maybe you just hold the grudge and for some reason. And if you're always hearing in your back here, I can't believe you didn't get the full signing bonus. I can't believe you didn't get the full, you're probably like, yeah, I can't believe you didn't get the full signing bonus. Like eventually it might get to you. So it is for a Friday night game that now it does impact Oiler fans because if Vegas loses, that's a benefit. So I don't know how many Oiler fans will really watch, but you'll probably watch the start just to see what the reaction will be.
Pettiness doesn't go away with your wallet getting bigger.
For some people,
right?
No, it doesn't. That's a fair point.
There was an article I'd read, I can't remember where, and it was talking about his life, Mitch Marner's life in Vegas. And it was basically like the grass isn't always greener. It's kind of the topic. He was saying that in Toronto, he had lots of friends and family, and now he's trying to arrange FaceTimes and flights down. Do you think players, when they leave that big first market of their career, thinking it's going to be better somewhere else, what is usually the case? Is it like, you know, when you think about Jordan Eberle and Taylor Hall back in the day, right? They lived in a fishbowl in Edmonton. The sun set on them every day. And then they go elsewhere and they're not quite the same big deal. Like, do most people thrive when there's lesser pressure, or?
It all depends, I think, on your personality and what you value. If you like more personal privacy, that's probably great. And I've talked to both of those guys and still talk to both of them today. And neither one had anything, negative to say about Edmonton, right? Like Taylor Hall was actually quite disappointed when he got traded out of Edmonton, right? They just acquired McDavid and it's like, hey, things are going up. And I know him and McDavid played like 3 games together. And it's like, they don't have chemistry. And I'm like, okay, it's 3 games. Like, what are you doing? But, you look at Hall and hey, Hall went to New Jersey, won a Hart Trophy, right? He's never had he's been on good teams, right? Never been on he was on a great regular season team in Boston. But, when Jordan Eberle, went to the island and had some playoff success. That was the interesting thing. Jordan Eberle, because in Edmonton, like first year in the playoffs. I remember telling people, like, what are we doing? You're going to get mad at a guy for his first year in the postseason? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I can tell you Hall of Fame players. Pavel Datsyuk 3-4 years in the playoffs before he did anything. Like, it's hard. And Eberle's turned out to be a pretty productive player in the postseason, right? Same with Hall. It's pretty good. So I don't know. It's just different for each player. Some guys, it's like anything. You don't know what you have till it's gone. And some you'll miss part of it, and maybe other parts you won't miss, right? Like I'm sure it was nice when you go to a restaurant, you never have to pay, even though you got the money. It's probably still pretty nice, right? If you go to the bar and some fan is buying you a drink, it's like, okay, great, right? So now some guys are like, man, I'd rather go to the bar and have no one know me. I'll pay for my own drinks. So it all depends on who you are.
It's probably a relief the first time you go out and you're not getting bothered, but then the second or third time you go out and no one comes and says hi to you, especially if you like the spotlight. I would look at a guy like Stu Skinner and think it's going to probably be easier for him in Pittsburgh without all the pressure of being the hometown hero. Have a little bit more anonymity.
Yeah, well, and it's twofold, right? Like I'm sure when Stu and I have exchanged text. We're going to talk in the summertime, right? Just kind of how it worked. There wasn't really time, wasn't availability. This kind of sucked with a back-to-back game, but nonetheless, and even then it'll be like Stu Skinner's. He's on a great run right now, awesome. But even he knows, like, everybody will love you. You get to the playoffs, and if all of a sudden you have a bad playoff game, well, now all of a sudden everything's just magnified in the playoffs. It just is. So I think there is unfortunately a very, very, very small group of people that can ruin it. And luckily, Stu would say, hey, I'm on social media. I told people, like, if 1 or 2 people say something, that doesn't represent everybody. It represents those 2 idiots. Now, if a fan saw another moron on social media personally attacking and threatening someone, speak up to it, right? Magnify, say, no, this isn't what we do. You can say, hey, I don't like your giveaways. I don't like you make a save. That's fine. That's open. The players understand that. But when you start to make it personal and bring someone's wife or family into it, first of all, I'm like, what are you doing? Reevaluate your life. Like, it's sports. You don't need to attack someone's personal life, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the success on the ice. Zero. Zilch. So some players, you go somewhere and they have success. A lot of the time it's maturity. Like Devin Dubnyk admitted that he was stubborn in Edmonton and he didn't want to change how he played goal. And he didn't have success right away. Everybody just thinks he left and his first stop was hello success story. It wasn't. He had to go to the minors and basically was almost out of the league. And then he was like, okay, you know what? I got to listen here, or I'm going to be out of the league. And then he did. And obviously it helped in Nashville for a very brief time. And then he got to Sean Burke in Arizona. And that made a big difference, right? Big difference in a short period of time. But Dubnyk, people forget, Dubnyk had a 921 in Edmonton and a 916 in Edmonton on bad teams. He had skill. He just then became more consistent as he got older, which is shocking, like a lot of goalies, right? And lots of other players. So I think it depends on your, like, let's say you're a young guy in a market where you can go out and you get to be seen. That's awesome. But then you get married later on in life. Well, you're never going to be in that scene as much anymore. So you're like, well, it's just different only because you're not in that scene anymore. Right. But you go to New York and, there's lots more clubs. If you want to go to the club, you can find it. Right. If you want to go to a club in any city, I don't care. Go to Carolina. You'll find a club. Right. Go to San Jose. Even they call it Man Jose. You'll still find a club somewhere. So all kind of depends on what you're looking for at that time of your life.
I remember going to the bar once in Dallas with a couple Dallas stars, and they're like, oh, no one in Dallas bothers us ever. This is such a cool city. Everyone's so cool. No one cares. It's so cool. Then Tony Romo walked into the bar when he was dating Jessica Simpson.
Well, that'd be a little different.
Take Taylor Hall and Jordan Everly, make them each 30 feet tall, and then put Justin Bieber with them. Like the level, like the whole mood in the bar just changed. And Tony Romo went and walked the bar, and there's probably people 6 deep just staring at him. Like Tony Romo in Dallas, there's levels to the game.
Well, of course. Congratulations to Matt W. He won the tickets. He's going to Shoresy tonight, Matt. So check your email. The con man has sent them to you. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Late at night, on the weekends, they'll fix your furnace. No OT. Legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, a longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair, has never let him slow him down, and has always wanted to be on radio. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Friday, I get the pleasure of reading Cam's words. Here are Cam's words in my voice in the 2-minute warning. It was so bad, even the puck wanted to stay in the heated press box. It was so bad, the ice at Rogers Place looked warm compared to the Oilers' play. It was so bad, Wanye Gretz thought about letting everyone see what he looks like on YouTube. Not that that isn't a bad thing. That's debatable. 3 goals in a shorter time than Cam Tate can say superfragilistic expialidocious. And they kept sliding and sliding and sliding. To quote the one and only, the late, great Tiger Goldstick, if that game was in my backyards, I'd have drawn the drapes. We saw the humiliation 9-1 loss to Colorado and a tough 8-3 loss to Dallas. All at home, Connor Halley. All at home. We're going to deal with that next week. But for now, we got an X poll up. We asked a question. Was Thursday's 6-2 loss to Pittsburgh the worst you've seen the Oilers play this season? And I thought we'd ask that since the Oilers had, until the first of the week, we're playing better hockey. And Connor Halley. The votes are in. Almost 1,000. 61% said yes, worst game of the year. 39% said no. Over to you, Governor Gregor. Cam Tate, 2-minute warning, Sports 1440. It was not a great game. Was it worse than the Colorado game? The difference is Colorado's a better team. 1. 2, Colorado's been playing third game in 4 nights or second half of back-to-back. So I could see why people are like, no, yesterday, worst game. Like Pittsburgh's a team that you've beaten kind of for fun for a while. Colorado's a really good team. Now, you got spanked 9-1. It's still pretty embarrassing. But 6-2 and 6-2 looked better because Matt Savoy made it 6-2 late. It was really a 6-1 game. And also, the reason why I think it's fair to call it the worst game, something happened in that game that had never happened ever before in the history of the Edmonton Oilers. Ever before in the history of the Edmonton Oilers. And the Edmonton Oilers have played 3,615 games in the regular season. They had never allowed 3 goals in 37 seconds until yesterday. So if you were watching, and I love this text we got in from Steve. No joke, guys. I actually thought it was a replay. The goals happened so fast. It's true. right? You're like, what is this, Mantha again? Jeez, I don't think he scored from that. I was like paying attention. Anthony Mantha, he is again. What the hell? Yeah, that was not good. Like literally, you're like, you kind of look down, you're writing some notes. They scored again. What is happening? 3 goals in 37 seconds.
We're pretty lucky up here getting to watch Connor and Leon and everybody. I thought I've seen almost every kind of goal there is to score. That's what they call it, a chop tip. That Crosby chopped down. And
high tip, yeah.
That was a slick goal.
Oh, a slick goal
by a great goal scorer.
Like, you know what? Even excited young men on their wedding night think 37 seconds was too fast. Okay, like, come on, that was brutal. Yeah, like I literally couldn't believe it. Like, what is going on? Obviously never seen it before because it's never happened before. Not even close. And they just, it's and probably what made it, the only thing that salvaged it was because they had that little delay. They took a timeout even. That's the thing. You took a timeout because they were thinking about reviewing the goal. It did nothing to get everybody kind of refocused. Okay, boys, let's go. Let's get back at it. Hey, Gregor, what's your thoughts on Knobloch? I feel it's premature to give him that contract, though some would say he shouldn't go into the season on an expiring contract. Always felt from the beginning when we hired him that it was not the right move, as we needed a good veteran coach. Seuss. You didn't think it was the right move, even though they went to back-to-back Stanley Cups? Are you honestly questioning if the coaching hire was good? Went to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. Like, you literally can't get better than that. The only thing you can do is win. But the guy that beat him coached for 3 decades before he won. So, what do you mean a good veteran coach? I don't, you know what? I should have read the whole text before I read on air because I'm not getting into the fire the coach stuff. It is, what's next? Someone's going to tell me that, they got to get rid of Tristan Jarry next, because I can tell you there's actually been texts about that already. So, from the same people who all want to get rid of Stu Skinner, rather than just once admit maybe the team needs to play better defensively. Just a thought. But no, the coach, come on. Do you tell me that the coach says, hey, guys, let's play this. Let's have you not cover the guy in the slot, Sidney Crosby. Do you think that's actually coached to happen? I think sometimes when people want to fire coaches, I firmly believe you've never even coached at the lowest level of hockey. Because if you coach in minor hockey, you can come up with plan. Okay, guys, in our own zone, this is how we want to play, right? Wingers are high. Some guys will say, I want to collapse in. We'll settle for shots on the point because we'll get in the way, but we don't want to get beat. Everybody's going to have a different philosophy. And you think as a coach, because you say that means when the game's on, they're all just going to make the right decision all the time? It's delusion. I don't think the Oilers, and everyone's like, well, hey, Trent Frederick's terrible. Well, did the coach make him terrible? Did the coach make Andrew Mangiapane terrible this year? So if you're saying that the players aren't playing very well, what's a new coach going to do? Like, do you think Trent Frederick, that Chris Knobloch has had it out for Trent Frederick? That Chris Knobloch is bad-mouthing him? That Chris Knobloch is somehow, he's the reason why? Like, it's okay to admit the team didn't play very well. It's not the coach. Honestly, not the coach at all. Right? Hey, Greg, you're bang on. The coach isn't telling McDavid to give the puck to Malkin for a 5-2 breakaway. Oh, yeah. The Oilers had a lot of mistakes last night. A lot. Right? Ekholm and Bouchard have been on fire, and they were brutal in that game. It's not like you're going to say, the coaches, they just outscored teams 11-0 on the weekend. Were you complaining about the coach then? Like, you can't just go, it's so lame to want to fire the coach. It's too easy. Especially a coach that's went to Stanley Cup. And by the way, beat Dallas. Just because you didn't beat Florida doesn't mean it's not good. They beat Dallas. They beat Vegas. They beat Dallas again. Right? Beat Vancouver. You beat LA. They've had some pretty experienced coaches. So
I think the revolving door of coaches during the decade of darkness made it worse, not better. I think how many coaches have the Nuge had, they said the other day. I don't think that actually helps your program. You need stability year to year. You can't just be changing the coach every season and a half, 2 years.
No.
You run down the program.
Quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turn. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you as it's time to go to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton, is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails while you watch the game or a concert. Check it out, Summit Restaurant. Craig Button, former NHL GM, and Scout, Stanley Cup winner, ace analyst and scout for TSN, joins us now. Butts, how you doing?
Good. I think that they should fire Knobloch. I think that it's too much. I mean, Stanley Cup finals in back-to-back years, falling short one game and then another game. But, I think if the owner had gone into the dressing room after the game last night, he would have seen the disappointment in the players. And that probably would have led him to say, I got to fire the coach. Just like Terry Bagula fired Sean McDermott. That would be firing Chris Knobloch would be as dumb as firing Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I would. I would agree. Well, and hey, Dermott 7 years, and we'll see if that was the right decision. I question it for sure. But Knobloch, my God, they've been 2 Stanley Cup Finals back-to-back years. They're 6-2 in the playoffs. It's a really good record. And, they lost to a really good Florida team. It's going to happen sometimes. But I look at the Oilers, Craig, and when they commit to playing sound defense, this team's good. And then some nights they don't do it. Last night was terrible. The captain said, hey, our energy levels got to be better. And I know you can't flip a switch and all that stuff, but the Oilers, they had a terrible start. Then they had a good stretch of about 6 weeks where they looked like, okay, Edmonton's found their stride. And now the last 2 games, they've just looked awful again. Like it's an odd up and down season for this team.
Well, I don't think that the Edmonton Oilers are alone in that regard, Jason.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the compressed schedule, I think that you're going to have scenarios and stretches, and whether they be 2 games or a week or longer than that, where you're not going to have the energy. You're going to have some gaps in your play just because of the way the schedule is. And I see it with so many teams. I mean, look at Dallas right now. I mean, are they talking about firing Glenn Gulletson? I mean, they're having their struggles right now. Vegas is having struggles. Like, you start to look, and I mean, I was in Winnipeg on Thursday night for the Jets game there. I mean, Florida didn't start Bobrovsky. 4 of their key players are out of the lineup, and they go about their business. They're clawing for a playoff spot. So I don't think what's happening to Edmonton is something that you go, oh geez, like why is this happening here? It's happening right around the league. The New Jersey Devils, the Washington Capitals, who are playing Edmonton on Saturday, they're going through it. So we're talking about teams that have shown they can be good, and I think the Oilers fall into that category. But I just think that this is part and parcel of this year. It's an odd year with respect to the ups and downs that teams have been going through. So I don't look at it and go, geez, Edmonton's an outlier here. Well, they're not. It's common what's happening around the league, and Edmonton's just one of the teams that's happening to right now.
Yeah, and I look at the Oilers. I think they need I would play Nugent Hopkins in my third line center, and I go find a left winger. Now, I get if you can't find the left winger, then you go get the third line center. I get it's one of the two, right? They need another top 9 forward for sure. I would like a scoring winger because I think come crunch time, I'd always like to have one other guy that I think I can rely upon to score goals. At the end of the day, scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in the league. And if you can get a guy to do it, that's the key. Now, the problem is, Craig, right now, outside of Vancouver and the Rangers, I don't even know which teams are sellers. Everybody still thinks they're in it because it's so close. So we'll have to see who potentially comes available. But if you were the GM, and you've been in that spot before, would you look for the top 6 winger or the third line center?
Third line center. I think Nuge provides so much value, and where Nuge is so good, he can play the wing, and then when you want to load up 97 and 29, Nuge just slides into that second line spot. I think a really good third line center would really help this team. I think it would help them significantly. And I go back to, you talk about Florida. So last year before the Stanley Cup final, Paul Maurice, he was asked, and, hearing him talk, well, who are you going to match up against McDavid? He goes, they're going to determine who McDavid plays against, not me. He goes, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I got Lundell and Bennett and Barkov. So they can decide who they want McDavid to play against. That's fine. We're comfortable with any one of those 3. I think that's where Edmonton has to get to with the third line center. Then so Nuge can score. Nuge can add offense playing on the wing. And I think he gives you that option to slide in as the second line center when you load up McDavid and Draisaitl. So I think third line center would really add some significant strength up the middle of the ice and in an important area for the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. Looking at the Toronto game tonight, you've got Mitch Martin, and it's obviously John Tavares going back to the Islanders. They weren't very happy with him. They had the traitor signs out and everything. And I have no problem with fans when a player returns to the team if they want to give it to him. They pay their money, no problem. Some are going to cheer, some are going to boo. It's going to be a loud atmosphere. Both Vegas they played last night in Boston. They didn't love their start like Edmonton. They were down 4-0. Didn't make it closer though. They'll probably feed off of it too. They're like, hey, this is one like our brother now, and he's kind of getting picked on, so let's step up for him. This probably makes it a much more emotionally charged game and fun to play in. Maybe not for Mitch, but for everybody else.
Honestly, Jason, I got a little twinkle in my eye and a chuckle because I think about myself. When have you ever seen emotion coming out of the Toronto Maple Leafs fans in a home game?
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna go there and boo, like you know what it'll be? It'll be like just a smattering of boos. They'll clap politely when they show the tribute video. Mitch will wave and they'll clap, 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 and then they'll go like this. They'll go boo, 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 and they might throw a Mitch Marner 16 jersey on the ice. I mean the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, one of the dumbest slogans I ever saw: "The passion that unites us all." Passion for what? There's no passion in that building for the Toronto. The players talk about, "Come on, we need some energy in here." If Mitch Marner coming back is going to provide energy in that building, well, then maybe they should have Mitch Marner come back all the time.
Yeah, well, it's very true. You're right. They probably should be a little bit louder, a little bit more often, but it probably will be loud there tonight, and will be a fun one to watch.
I got to tell you this, Jason. I was watching the other night, last Saturday night in Edmonton or in Winnipeg. The Leafs were in there, and I hear the "Go Leafs, go Leafs, go Leafs" chants. Go Leafs, go Leafs, go. I'm thinking to myself, they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. And that means you had to be born in 1960 to even that, which would make you 66 years old today. So anybody younger than 66 years old that's still rooting for the Leafs, what's your allegiance to the Leafs when you're in Winnipeg and Montreal or in Edmonton and Cal? I don't get it anymore. I really don't get it anymore. It's like, give me a break. You're rooting for the Leafs, but you're under 60 years old and you're rooting for the Leafs. Why?
Yeah, it's a fair question, Craig. It's a fair question. Maybe the household, maybe your dad has convinced you to drink the bath water of the Maple. I'm not sure, but I would guess maybe that's what it is. But it's definitely not about the success they've had. That's for certain. It can't be about that. Now, speaking of success or lack thereof, Craig, we talked about, man, there's lots of teams, in the race. You look at the Boston Bruins have the second wild card. Then you've got the Leafs and the Panthers and the Flyers and the Devils and the Capitals. They're all, even the Senators and the Blue Jackets, it's probably a pipe dream for them, but they probably can convince themselves. Out in the West, it's even closer. Seattle's in 8th. I don't even think they're that good. Then there's San Jose and LA, and then Nashville's a point behind them. Even the Jets are only 6 back, and I would probably still, if you asked me today, which team do I think is the best, I'd still take the Jets over the Predators, Kings, and the Sharks and the Kraken. I think Winnipeg's just been underachieving. But if you're Seattle and you're Nashville, to me, they should be selling. I'm hearing these stories now, Seattle, they're looking for a top 6 winger, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What are they can't be thinking to add at this point? It would be the most ridiculous. You got to at least be aware of who you are and what you are. I love Daryl Sutter's line because it's true. So you're gonna battle to get in the number 8 spot, give up assets to add to an aging group so you can get your ass handed to you by Colorado. Why? I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's a scenario. I often say this, Jason, and you've heard me say this before. You have to see your team as it is, not as you hoped that it would be, not that you thought it could be, not that you'd like it to be, as it is. And so you ask yourself, are we a contender? To Daryl Sutter's comment, why? Just so you can have 6 days to lose for 7 days, spend a week losing 4 games to Colorado. And that's where teams get themselves into trouble, I think. And, I'll be straightforward with you. You're not fooling the fans. You're not fooling the fans. Right now, the fan is a smart fan, is an educated fan. They're passionate, but they know they're not. Well, I'm not going there. So what? So I can see my Seattle Kraken play 2 games against Colorado. No. So I agree. And I read this stuff. They're looking to trade Shane Wright, a third line center at best, to try to get a scoring winger. Who the hell's giving up a scoring winger for a third line center at best right now? But Shane Wright isn't showing that he's like anything. Unless somebody thinks the world of him, and you're going to give up a top 6 scoring winger? Give me a break.
Yeah, the Seattle one to me, I look at him like Jamie Alexiak. There'll be teams tripping over you to get him. Jordan Eberle in a time where there's not a lot of toxic available. There's a guy that you could get a pretty good return for, I would think, at the deadline. No. Or even Jaden Schwartz, you can't keep all these guys in Seattle and think that you're going to get better somehow next year. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they're not good now. I think they're. I think if I looked, I think they're 23 and 29. Like they have 23 wins and then 29 losses and overtime losses or shootout losses, right? 23 and 29. I think that's where they're like. If I know there's a bunch of teams like that. Anyway, Logan Stanley, like the Winnipeg, like there's one or two scenarios for me with Logan Stanley. Pending for age, if I'm Kevin Shoveldale, like, okay, what would the contract look like? What are you looking for? So if there's something and parameters can be met, then we're going to get you signed before the trade deadline. If there's not nothing there and the parameters don't fit to our life, I'm trading Logan Stanley. You're out the door. Like you're gone. Bye. See ya. I'm not letting him walk out the door in free agency on July 1st, where my team is at now.
No, I'm with you. So 100%. And I'm kind of curious. Like another team that I'm intrigued by is the Washington Capitals, because the Capitals got a lot of good young guys coming.
Yes, they do.
They've got some good young guys on their team already. And, Alex Ovechkin, whether it's his last year or not, to me, it's kind of irrelevant. I know people are like, oh, they want to get into the playoffs. Of course they want to get into the playoffs, but they just might not. But outside of him, like, they don't have many, UFAs like, Brandon Duhaime, I guess. Okay, sure. Some team might like him as a depth guy, but you're not getting a lot there. If you were the Capitals, Craig, and you look at your team, like, would you ever, and I don't know if Ovi would even want to do it, but he's still got 20 goals and 43 points. Like, he's a really productive player. If Ovi came to you, like everybody's talked about Sid, but Sid and the Penguins are like comfortably in second place. What about Ovi in Washington and a possible trade?
Yeah, never going to happen. Never, because the owner would never allow it to happen. And I don't think Ovi isn't looking to leave. And I don't think that Sydney was ever looking to leave. I think that, it was all this kind of thing. Well, we know Sydney's a great competitor and he would like to win again. But yeah, everybody would like to win again. But you start to go, what does it mean to try to win again? What, like uprooting my family, uprooting my entire adult life that has been in Pittsburgh, my entire adult life that's been in Washington. I don't think that's the thinking there.
Yeah,
let me propose something to you. If I'm the Washington Capitals, I'd be phoning the Ottawa Senators and trying to see what you'd give me for Charlie Lindgren.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, if you're like Ottawa needs something, Craig, there's no doubt about
that. They need
a
goalie. That's what they need. They need a goalie.
Yeah.
That's why I bring up Charlie Lindgren. Like, Travis, to me, has done a good job coaching that team. Offensively, they've been decent. Defensively, they've been strong. The goaltending's been absolutely abysmal. And I'm just telling you what I like, where I'm looking. Like, I'm looking like, hey, you know what? We got Logan Thompson.
Yeah, well, they do have Logan Thompson. You're right. So maybe you don't need both. And Ottawa's situation is pretty interesting to see what they're going to do, because goaltending right now, Craig, like sometimes the system plays a factor in goaltending, no question. Ottawa's defensive structure hasn't been bad. Their goaltenders have flat out not been good enough.
Bingo.
And, Sanderson, some people got all upset about what he said. I didn't mind what he said. He just said the truth. He goes, hey, you know what? Hey, he's made some good saves, but we have to have more than 10 saves. Both things can be true at the same time. I don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
And then he was sent down a few days later, and obviously Allmark's away from the team, and who knows when he's coming back. But you're like, I don't think this season's salvageable for Ottawa. So my question is, they don't have but the thing is, they don't have a first rounder. So they might be more willing, like, God, we don't want to give up. It looks like we're losing a 10th. If we lose a 15th, it looks better than if we lose a 10th. You know what I mean?
Well, they're not losing. Nobody's getting the pick.
They're losing it. That's what I mean. Like, they're losing the pick. Like, it disappears essentially, and there's only going to be 31 first-round picks.
Right, exactly.
But if all of a sudden, let's say you were scheduled to pick 9th or 15th, it just, mentally you're like, oh my God, like we just lost a top 10 pick. And
yeah, you're right. Well, that's what I mean about, like, again, like, I'm just saying, if I'm Chris Patrick in Washington, I'm phoning Steve Staios and going, hey, we got two pretty good goaltenders here, and we're really coming. Like, well, you want to have a discussion about Charlie Lindgren? Do you want to have a discussion? Like that? That's where I'm talking about. Like, I said this, and this is what GMs do. They phone you, and they think you think that they're phoning you to give you a life raft. What they're really doing is just throwing you an anchor. and you got to throw those anchors. that's the cutthroat part of it, and that's what I'd be doing. I'd be trying to, like, James Reimer is your answer. Pardon?
Yeah.
And like your players are supposed to take you seriously? And people might say, "Oh, geez, James Reimer's a wonderful guy." Not going to help you win.
No, that's very true. Very true. Craig, good stuff, buddy. Who are you picking this weekend in the NFL?
I'm picking the Patriots and the Seahawks. And I mean, hey, Denver losing Bo Nix, I think it's just too much. I think it's too much to overcome. And the New England defense is good, and Drake May has had a really good year. So I think that tips the scales on the road for the Patriots. Seahawks are a good team, and I like the LA Rams, and I like what Drew Stafford has done and Sean, but it feels like the Seahawks are a wagon right now, and it'd be a repeat of the Super Bowl, the Marshawn Lynch Super Bowl, where they decided not to run in from 2 yards with the best running back in the NFL.
Oh yeah, that'll always be remembered. Craig, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Have yourself an awesome weekend, and we'll chat with you next Friday.
Who do you got?
Oh, I'm taking the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Yeah. The Bo Nix injury really put the Broncos in a tough spot. It really did.
Although, Bo Nix is good, but it's not like he's a dominant quarterback. But I don't care. It's your starting quarterback all year long. I think that's going to be a challenge. But maybe Craig, he'll be the Frank Reich of the 92 Buffalo Bills. Never know. He came in for Jim Kelly. So you never know.
Well, did you see how Nick Foles trolled the Patriots?
That was one of the greatest tweets of all time.
Wasn't that good?
If you can't laugh at that, if you're a Patriots fan, you got to have a sense of humor. That was, you're like, okay, you know what? I don't like it, and I'll give him credit for it because it was good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have a great weekend.
You
Take
too.
care.
It's Greg from TSN. We'll come back. We got 5 questions on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter. Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brig. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brig, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is the sound of a Toyota Tundra hauling a custom, fully furnished out to the lake. And this is the sound of a Tundra hauling home some store-bought frozen cod when the lake didn't deliver. 2 extremes, 1 Tundra with serious towing capacity. Now's the time to get yours. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $149 weekly for 60 months at 4.99% with $7,599 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting, as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Well, it's a Friday rolling through. Busy day. It's the Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca, where you want to get in the game. Of course, we always have the odds boost in the Gregor Show. We'll have a special one for the Oilers tomorrow if you want to check it out then. We got some NFL. We also have some Dallas, some Capitals. It seems all the teams going to Calgary and win, but then they win in Edmonton. So we'll see if the Capitals continue that tonight. Also, of course, the Maple Leafs, can they win on Mitch Marner return night? Also, the debut of Rasmus. I don't think Rasmus Anderson played last night in Boston. Probably, I'm guessing, maybe due to visa, but because he's in Canada, he could play tonight. So it's kind of always the weird thing. But I don't think, I got to double check, but I don't think Anderson played last night. For let me double check that before the Vegas Golden Knights. I didn't see anything in the highlight pack saying that he was playing. Yeah, he didn't play last night. So that's obviously the visa issue, right? When you come from Canada, you don't have a working visa for the United States. So it takes a little bit of time. But because he's playing in Canada tonight, he doesn't need one. It's a little bit weird. So that's how you go. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. You know what it is? Hey, it's not weird, but it's awesome. Up to 70% off right now. Clearance items on lots of things in store. So I would recommend, it's cold outside. You want to go make some savings, heat up your house, do it at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Going into last night's game, the Edmonton Oilers only allowed 3 goals in the previous 4 games, and they let 3 goals in the first 3 minutes. What went wrong? And do you think this was just a one-off or some room for concern?
I wouldn't be too worried when you're setting like all-time franchise collapse records. Those don't seem to be like sustainably bad things that can continue a lot. I wouldn't be that worried about it.
I would. There's a few red flags because they have not been a good home team now for 3 months. It's not just the 2 games. It's the fact they've won 8 of 19 home games. It's the fact they've only won 4 out of 26 games when they allow the first goal. So to me, those are bigger picture issues. The game last night, like, they're not giving up 2 goals or 3 goals in 37 seconds, for another 3,515 games probably. So I'm not worried about that, but I'm more worried about the bigger things that have been an issue for months.
Question number 2 here. After the Oilers' previous big losses to the Stars and Avs at home, they responded with wins. What happens with Ovi and the Caps in town tomorrow night?
I think the Oilers will put in a solid night's work and beat the Caps. I don't think that it's anything too much to worry about. Connor?
Well, I thought Edmonton was going to respond with a good win after the New Jersey loss, but they actually got worse. So, Leon Draisaitl played very jet lagged, I'm sure, after flying all day. So good on, and I would have played him too if I was the head coach, right? I think he kind of earned that right. But so yeah, I'd expect he'd be better. Maybe Kapanen's back in town. I just like the Oilers for the most part have been pretty good in not laying 3 consecutive eggs in a row. So I'm going to go off the fact that they haven't laid 3 eggs in a row very often, so they'll bounce back.
Question number 3 for you guys. Leading into the Olympics, there's the injury potential. So right now, give me 3 players you'd want on Team Canada's men's hockey team that are on the outside right now looking in.
Well, I guess it depends who's getting injured. If Cale Makar gets hurt, it's Evan Bouchard. It's not even a question because you need an offensive right shot defenseman, right? But if it's another defenseman on the team, then it's probably Jacob Chychrun. Up front, I've said, and I know that the plan, and I know this, not just made up guessing, I know this for a fact that the plan going in was to play Braden Point on the right wing with Connor McDavid. So Braden Point's not there. So that means you didn't think Stone, you didn't think Marner was going to be there. That's fine. So you had them on other lines. Keep those lines together. To me, Zach Hyman would be the guy as a right winger. And then the other guy who I think should be on the team is Mark Scheifele. I really like Scheifele's season in Winnipeg. I'd find a way, if there's another injury, to get him on the team.
I'll be a hometown fan as well and say Bouchard and Hyman. I think
Bouchard's only there for Makar. I'm not putting him on the other.
But we're saying here, give 3 players you would want to have join the team.
But,
I would want.
Okay, you want, but see, I'm only saying not want. I'm saying who I'd put in. If Makar's hurt, it's Bouchard. If it's not Makar, then it's not Bouchard.
What about Bedard?
Again, depends. Am I losing? Who do you lose, right? Like, it's not just where the guy's got to fit into the team. That's why it's called the team makeup. It's not just like, who are my favorite players, as Bill Guerin said, who has the most stats. Which player gets hurt? Braden Point at a very specific spot got hurt. Top line right winger. Well, who's the best player playing with McDavid right now? Hyman. Now, does that mean other guys couldn't do it? No, but I know that Hyman can do it. So it's alleviating my stress. Bedard, it would depend on who gets hurt, right? Like if Tom Wilson gets hurt, I'm not replacing him with Bedard. I'm replacing Wilson with Bennett. So it comes down to a little bit strategizing on who's coming out for me anyway.
Question number 4 for you guys. Of course, the AFC and FC championships this weekend. Who's advancing? And I'll throw this in there as a little wrinkle. Which game would you rather attend in person?
Well, I have to agree. I'd written this down ages ago, Gregor, but I think New England and Seattle in the Super Bowl too, not just because you said so.
Yeah, it's, and hey, that Rams Seattle game, that's the one I'd want to see. But you know what? I've been to Seattle and it was like almost too loud. Like I could not believe how loud it was. Like I would bring earplugs the next time for certain. Like it was so loud how the buildings construct with that noise. And like when the defense is on the field, all they're doing is, that's how they yell. And it's just like, oh my God, it is so like, it's almost, I'm not a Seattle fan. I was there for the experience, but after a while, I'm like, holy cow. Like I'd love to know how many people are damaging their ears for that, going to 8 games a year in Seattle. Crazy. But I'd still want to go there because I think that's going to be the better of the 2 games. Those are the 2 best teams. It should be a heck of a game.
I'm with you. Final question for you guys today is Tiffany Thiessen's 52nd birthday. A lot of fans from her days as Kelly Kapowski and Saved by the Bell. So thinking back, who was your first celebrity crush?
Didn't throw an Amber in her name, Connor?
It didn't have it for her, the listing.
Yeah, I thought I liked her better as Amber.
I didn't
totally
know if she
agree with
dropped
you.
it or not.
902, what is it again?
90210.
90210, yeah.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen's 52nd birthday today. Who's your guys' first celebrity crush?
52nd is shocking. Time waits for no man or woman. I would say Topanga on Boy Meets World was one of my first characters on Kid TV. I was like, hey, wait a minute. What's going on over there?
Yeah. Mine was Alyssa Milano, who's the boss.
Connor?
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of kids in the late 80s, Pink Power Ranger. Don't even know her name. Pink Power Ranger. Ashley Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah.
Another one.
Pink Power Ranger.
Isn't that like a cartoon character?
Yeah, wearing like a motorcycle helmet.
What are you, like in love with Jessica Rabbit too?
Wow.
No, that's just most of our listeners.
Yeah, it's
Kimberly
still a little
Hart
weird.
was her name.
Okay.
I don't
so
know.
it was an actual human just playing in
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It was a real show. She did have a mask when she was in Power Ranger form, but
Okay.
she also was a real human.
Also, Chrissy Snow, Three's Company.
Oh, yeah.
Suzanne Summers. Hello. Yeah. It was a good one. So it all depends on your age and your era of shows. 100%. Right? Lisa Bonet and the Hucks when she was on the Cosby Show. It's happening.
Alyssa Milano was extremely popular.
Well, Jenny on 90210, right? And then when I met her and Shannon Doherty, that was like one of the greatest times ever.
Now hold on, what?
Yeah, in LA at a bar.
You met Alyssa Milano and Shannon?
No, not Alyssa Milano.
Oh, Shannon Doherty and
Jenny Garth.
At the height of their powers?
Yeah, I was, what would I have been, 19?
Did you have presence of mind to say something?
Oh, yeah, we talked to him, sat at the bar for like an hour. Yeah. Yeah, me and my brother went in, so I had to use his ID to get in the bar, right? And because I just used his passport, didn't have a picture, right? So just came in, here we go. That's how I got in. Then he came in like, I don't know how long later. So I look close, right? Like you're 21. It's close. And it was, so I remember standing at the bar and, you're there and all of a sudden, Jenny, she's like, are you from Canada? Because I assured me ordering the drink. And obviously, what's his name? The Canadian who was on that show. I never remember.
Jason Priestley?
Yes. And so I know. She's like, oh, yeah, you Canadians sound the same. So I had to laugh, whatever. And I didn't really say much, right? But I knew right away. I'm like, oh, my God. But I try not to be a clown show. So, yeah. They were actually, like, I remember all the stuff you'd read online about Shannon Doherty. Shannon Doherty was, like, beyond nice. Incredibly nice. So.
Good trip to L.A.
No, yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Yeah, we went to, that's when we went to Six Flags, buddy. That was unbelievable. Yes.
More fun than meeting Jenny Garth?
Well, different. Yeah, different. So, but honestly, I probably broke to Shannon more. Like Shannon I was blown away because you hear she was so beyond nice. Yeah. It's good times. Good time. May she rest in peace. Unfortunately, she passed away. Sure. So, it's too bad. I never thought we had a thing. Unlike Struds, we actually had a communication though. Never thought we had a thing. We just had a good fun, few laughs. Like, do I wish in hindsight that their cell phones would have been around then and probably take a picture, but it probably would have ruined it. So, because then you're just having a conversation. Like, there's no real, I don't really say anything, but it was fun.
Struds.
Like, I pretended at first I didn't know who she was. And then finally, I'm like, of course, we watch it every Monday. Like, we would talk about it in junior hockey. Like, you kidding me? So.
Struds had a connection with Shannon Doherty?
No, with
Cindy
Crawford. Claims they had a moment walking across the street. And, like, he swears by it.
Really?
All that power play time. We had a moment. Oh my God. Oh, so fun. We got a lot of hey guys, the mom from Family Ties. Meredith Baxter Burney.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Olivia Newton-John. Oh, in Greece. Yeah, I could see that one. All right. See that one. Hey guys, what about Jenna Van Oy? She was 6 on Blossom. I have no idea who that is, but I remember the Blossom show, but I didn't.
She always had the hat on.
Oh, okay. Is that who it was?
I think
All
so.
right.
That's ungoogled.
What about Mindy? Pam Dauber. Oh, yeah. Facts of Life. Oh, that was a classic show. I like it. Hey, guys. Jacqueline Smith, Charlie's Angels. Good one. Right? Very good one. I could see that. Like it. It's going to have different crushes at different times. Fantastic. Like, I wonder what, with the young kids today, like who's their crush? Like if you're 18 to 25.
It's all weird TikTokers we don't know.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
There isn't like huge celebrities, I think, anymore.
Who's Dex? What's the
Sydney Sweeney would be big today, I bet.
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
I'll get Declan's mic on here.
Oh, okay.
Sydney
he's gonna pull it over.
No joke. Musicians. Ice Spice.
No, I'm just going off TV though. Maybe. Or maybe they don't watch TV now.
Monica Keena. Freddie versus Jason.
Now, is this a Declan special or is this somebody who's actually popular?
That's a Declan special for sure. It's a deep cut, but
Freddie
Wanye,
versus
man.
Jason. Oh, classic.
Monica Keena.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she is good. You're absolutely right.
That's your all-time favorite?
Oh, yeah. Okay. She's been in this, so now I'm Googling her. Now she's been in some other things.
Elizabeth Shue in Adventures in Babysitting as well.
Oh,
That
now
was a
you're
big one
talking.
for you. Now that's your language a little
Now
bit.
you're
Yeah,
talking.
that was a big one for me.
That's a great
Elizabeth Shue was also in Leaving Lot. Was it with her in the Vegas one?
Leaving Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yep.
No, Elizabeth Shue for sure. I get it.
I remember being profoundly disappointed in my babysitters after watching that movie. And just being like, nothing ever happens. No one's a babe. This is ridiculous.
Hey, guys, I can't believe no one said Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. True, Dean. True, yeah. Especially your outfit. How could you not like her, right? Linda Carter? Come on. Got a lot of votes for Jessica Biel. Yeah. Naomi Campbell. Sure. Could see that.
90210 is an interesting time. I can remember watching that. I was in about grade 3, grade 4. So when I went on the school bus the next morning, I could talk to junior high girls. Because I knew.
Denise Richards in Wild Things. Yeah. Very sexy in that show. For sure. For sure. Hey, guys, Stevie Nicks, spinner from Edmonton. Yeah, same, different gender, nothing wrong. Guys, what about Daisy Duke? Come on. Oh, who didn't like Daisy Duke? Just because of shorts. You kidding me? Fantastic. Good call.
I knew them as shorts, but I assume it's the person who wore them in the Dukes of Hazzard was Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke, that was her character. Yeah.
Jessica Simpson in the movie.
Yes, she played the. But who was the on the TV? Like, what was that actress's name? That's a very good.
Catherine Bach.
Catherine on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Bach.
Yeah. Okay.
Bachman for her real name.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's. I can understand that. Hey guys. Just to give the other side of things, I'm going with John Schneider, Bo Duke. That one comes in from Sarah. Well, there you go, Sarah. Yeah, you can have a crush. You know, ladies are allowed to have crushes for sure. Sure, there's many others, right? There you go. I get it. Why not?
If I was an 80s lady, I would vote for David Hasselhoff in Knight Rider. If I was a lady. That was a pretty cool show.
No,
that car was pretty cool.
Kit was awesome, yeah. We're a little break. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Mark Spector will join us. First, we get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Even though it's 2026, don't forget about the huge savings Mike and the gang have on 2025 models. Great savings right now at northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
8 games on the ice tonight in the NHL, including the Golden Knights in Toronto. Stars hosting the Blues. Flyers, Avs, Flames host the Capitals. Devils taking on the Canucks, and you got the Kraken and Anaheim in the association. The Raptors continue the road trip out on the West Coast, taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Tip off just after 8. Canadian Football League increasing their salary cap to $6.28 million for the upcoming season, about $220,000 more than last year. In the BCHL, the Saints on the road taking on Okotoks, Crusaders in Cranbrook, both games starting just after 7. In the AJ, 4 games tonight, including Camrose hosting Canmore, and the Bobcats taking on the Storm. U of A, Golden Bears hockey in Saskatoon taking on the Huskies tonight, and tomorrow the Pandas hosting the Huskies tonight at 7, tomorrow 5 down at the Drake. At the Saville Center, we've got volleyball action with the Bears and Pandas hosting Winnipeg, and over at McEwen men's hockey program hosting Manitoba, while the women in Winnipeg taking on the Bisons as well. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Bowtide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear
the Friday continue
clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
The Friday roll.
Bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But When it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
It only comes once a year.
Aw, Valentine's Day.
What? No, from the top. It only comes once a year.
Oh, here we go. The Rock and Bowl Super Party, only at On the Rocks.
Join host Ryan Jesperson on Sunday, February 8th.
At OTR for the biggest football party in Edmonton.
Your $30 ticket includes
all-you-can-eat buffet, commemorative t-shirts, prepaid Miller Lights, and entry to all prizes, including
$1,000 cash.
The Rock and Bowl Super Party.
Only at On the Rocks.
Book your table today.
On the Rocks, YEG.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We are rolling through on a lovely might be a stretch. Hey, it's Positive Friday. Good news is it was minus 30 this morning, but it's up to minus 18. So that's a big add. It's going to be a little chilly again, but they were supposed to be like minus 30 all weekend. So that's good that it's warmed up a touch. So we shall see. Hopefully you have lots of plans for the weekend. Football Sunday. You got Oil King Sunday. You've got the Oilers on Saturday. You've got Shoresy and the Oilers alumni tonight. And whatever else floats your boat. Some NBA, NHL. Lots going on in the sporting world. Of course, while the Saints are actually on the road in the BCHL, some local AJHL action. Also university sports going on. So there is no shortage of sports if you like. And opportunities to get inside to watch if it's a little too cold for you outdoors. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where it's Friday night. And you're thinking, what do I need? Maybe you need a winning ticket for Lotto Max, $10 million. The draw tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Tomorrow's Lotto 649 is 18 mil. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They make your life more enjoyable. Indoor plumbing, running water, freeways. That's what they do. Unheralded, very important. GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us again. Spec, how you doing?
Good. Just watching Vegas and Toronto, the only game that matters in the world of sports tonight, of course. Marner coming back to visit the Leafs.
Oh yeah, we see that game. Vegas is leading 1-0 in that one. And
did you see Rob Tchaikovsky's Twitter poll?
No. What
he said? He said, "Is this the most important return of a player ever to come back to his old team in any sport at any time?" And the two choices were yes and of course.
Oh yes, it for a player that never really had much success in Toronto. Yeah, they like to overblow everything and Leaf, and then on your station and on TSN. So yes, I know guilt by association for you on this day, Spec. Guilt by
Yeah.
association.
I still wave the Western flag on this one, but I'll hear you.
It's true. Well, geez, the Oilers should have waved the flag early. 3 goals in 37 seconds, a franchise record, not a record you want to have. And it was not a pretty night for the Edmonton Oilers last night.
No, it's, like, I don't mind. The difference between me and a lot of fans is, I get it. You lose sometimes. Everyone gets all excited. You think you're going to win. You beaten Pittsburgh for fun for 5 years. You're going to lose sometimes. You don't get to win every night, right? I get that. But the effort they've put out, like they've played one in the last 6 periods of hockey, they've given you one decent one. They haven't been, they're nowhere near their potential and as well as they can play. And I don't, nobody wants to go watch their team play when they're playing at 40% or 50% or whatever they're doing. Like, I feel like saying, like, wake me up when you're going to show up and try. Like, it's a bit of I felt like last night was a waste of time. It's not like Pittsburgh's good. Pittsburgh's good. They're playing great. They got a good record. Pittsburgh didn't come in here and just own the Oilers and they were way better. That happens sometimes. They're just better than you, man. They beat you. And I'll tell you that when that happens. Last night, Pittsburgh was good and the Oilers were awful. I mean, they were awful. So I kind of felt like, what did Daryl Sutter say about that playoff series, a wasted 8 days? Felt like last night was a wasted 4 hours. What about you?
Well, like, okay, 37 seconds in the first 3 minutes of the period, and it's pretty much game over, right? Like, and right now, sure, Wallman did score to make it 3-1, and Edmonton really didn't gain any momentum off that. That was maybe more disappointing than anything else. Like, after they scored that goal, shorthanded, you'd think, okay, the building's alive, here we go, and nothing. So it just wasn't their night. But we've been saying that now for 2 nights. But to me, it's more bigger picture for the Oilers. You're a top 5 scoring team in the league, Spec, but when you give up the first goal, you're a bottom 3 team in the league. They have enough offense. They should be able to overcome 1-goal deficits more than they have been. And they've only won 4 of 26 games when they allow the first goal. They've been great when they score first, but you've got to find a way to be a little bit more competitive when you give up the first goal than the Edmonton Oilers have been this year. And secondly, in their last 19 home games, they've only won 8. That's not a good sign either. So those are 2 bigger picture things that are a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, the home ice record is out of character. This is a very good home ice team. I just and I got no answer for you when it comes to the other team scoring first. So what? You're down 1-0. Big deal. That shouldn't be a problem. You got McDavid and Draisaitl in the best power play in hockey. Like, you darn near start every game up 1-0. So if the other team scores first, who cares? So yeah, that's a surprising stat and maybe a little alarming. I guess we've all seen the level at which this team can play and the effort that they can put in when the games get really important and they really matter. When the chips are down, they've been the best team in the Western Conference 2 years in a row. Last year, they rolled through the West for fun, 2 5-game series against Vegas and Dallas. So it's there. We know they can do it. Maybe that's what makes times like this the most puzzling, is the same guys that absolutely bring it in April and May and June. Here we are in January and they're half-assing their way through another hockey game. And I think that's probably what gets me. I know they're so much better. Then why aren't you? Like, bring it once in a while. I'll tell you what, they're not giving the fans 40 or 50 or 60% off their tickets, Jay, even though the Oilers are playing at 40, 50, 60% of their effort level. So that's something to be talked about.
Yeah, that's fair. The captain stood in there and said, hey, our urgency level's got to get way up. Our puck play was really, really emphasized. Like, I think he said 3 really there. He said bad, really, really bad. And last night, I thought one of the worst culprits. I thought Darnell Nurse's puck play last night was just horrific.
Terrible. Hey, these guys are like, it's not enough to just throw a puck at a guy in his skates. These guys are top end pros. It's supposed to hit you in the tape. There was a breakaway. It might have been shorthanded. I can't remember. I'm trying to think. McDavid was the cause of a breakaway at the offensive blue line. He circled up high. So I don't know who gave him the pass, but he mishandled the pass and it went the other way. And there was a breakaway. And whoever they were playing. I can't even remember. It was such a mess. Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And my point is this: it was an easy pass, but it went right into McDavid's feet. He had to try to kick it up to his skates. He's moving so fast. He didn't do it perfectly. And boom, it goes the other way for a breakaway. And everyone goes, oh, look at McDavid. He coughed up a breakaway. No, he didn't. Hit him on the tape.
Yeah.
You're a freaking NHLer, right? Put it on the tape. It's not enough to put it in the skates. And we watched 60 minutes of that last night. Pucks in the skates all night long. Poor passing. You give me an outlet. That's great. But if my stick's on the left, don't pass it on the right. You're a freaking NHL player. And we watched it for 60 minutes. It was very, very poorly played hockey, and they didn't deserve anything better than 6-2.
Spec, it's not a surprise. They've been looking and obviously hasn't found a dance partner yet. When do you think they ever, and maybe they don't, because teams they're leery to do it, because if you put a guy like Mangiapane on waivers, basically you're saying he's got no value at all, because the team isn't going to claim him at 2 years. So, people suggest put him on waivers. It would free up $1.2 million in cap space, sure. But I'm not sure what else it would do for your organization. Do you see a Mangiapane on waiver? Because he does have a no trade. He doesn't have a no movement clause, which means he could technically be put on waivers.
Yeah, I think if he's still an Oiler at the deadline, and if he's still playing the way he's playing, I think that's what happens. Is you're going to need every cent. You got to maximize every penny at the deadline. So yes, I absolutely do see that happening at the deadline, not before. Like, they don't need a 1.2 right now, do they, Jay?
Not right now. No. Yeah. No, they don't. No, you're right. They don't need it. Well, they need it when they want to add somebody, sure. So if that was the way to do it, then yeah, they might have to do that, right? Like, that's just a fact of the situation. So,
what might happen, Jay, what is very possible is, let's say you're making a trade with a seller out there. And part of the trade is, maybe they, instead of retaining money on a player, maybe they take Mangiapane from you, and you got to throw in a big fat sweetener to make it happen. Maybe that's how you do it.
Well, you might have to. Now the thing about that is, pay a team that isn't interested today, if all of a sudden, Spec, they're out of it, coming out of the Olympic break, right into that first week of March. Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay. Like, everybody's opinions and thought process can change. Because right now, I think like the Seattle Kraken are considering that, hey, maybe we should be a buyer. And I'm kind of like, what? Like, that'd be a terrible decision for them. Like, I'm sorry, it would be. Their team's not that good, and they're old.
I know, but everyone has their own situation.
Sure.
They're having trouble in that market. Their TV numbers are poor. They haven't accomplished anything since they got there.
Yeah,
they need to make a playoff round in Seattle, man. That's what they need. They need to try to, in a town where you got the Mariners and the Seahawks and the soccer team and the University of Washington, and everybody's ahead of you. I'm not sure there's time to be pragmatic. I agree with you. I don't think they're a threat. They shouldn't be a buyer. But I'm not sure the Seattle Kraken can afford to come off and say, oh, we're going to push the can down the road till next year. They got to be seen in that Seattle market to be trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. But all that does is, all you do, Spec, is you just you're in a hole and you're just digging deeper rather than having a plan to say, hey, you know what? Like, because guess what? One trade isn't going to suddenly make them relevant in the market. I guess that's my point of view. Like, and thinking you're going to
playoff run is
winger. Yeah, but playoff run. Come on, Spec. They're going to finish 8th and then
hey,
say,
buddy,
Colorado.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just telling you how they think in Seattle, because I know that's what they're thinking. They're having relevancy problems in Seattle right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and they expect
relevancy problems.
This was the most easily predictable situation from day one of their expansion draft. And then when they did have success, what did they do, Spec? Cheap. They didn't want to pay Geeky. Look at him. They didn't want to pay, and all they had to do was pay him $2 million. They didn't want to pay him. They got rid of their whole fourth line, which was the most productive fourth line, arguably in the last decade, between the three of them, who scored 45 goals. Like, 45 freaking goals from your fourth line? Are you kidding me? And you can't bring any of them back, right? Like it was embarrassing. to see how they've run. It's been ultra cautious. And is Botterill, he's never been aggressive as a GM. So maybe he'll suddenly do it. I don't know. But Seattle's a team they're in the murkiest of middle spec. Nashville's the interesting team for me because they're actually playing better. And they've been playing better now for a few months. And, Steven Stamkos has woken up. He's got 24 goals now. Like since December 1st, top goal scorers in the NHL, David 19, Hyman 18, Stamkos 18, Brock Nelson 16. McKinnon also has 18. And so Stamkos, the guy who scored a lot, he scored over 600 goals. That and he's now playing like the guy you paid for. So I'm like, okay, I could see that. But Seattle doesn't have a Stamkos, right? It's not like Jordan Eberle and S'mores were ever going to be big-time scorers. They're good players. So I could even see why Nashville might do it because their best guy's like, well, this guy's actually a pretty damn good player, right? So I look at some of these team spec, and I think in a month's time, some of them reality will be like, you know what? We thought we were closer, but we're really not. And then they'll be selling off.
Yeah, well, this is how the trade deadline always goes. Like, that's why a guy like Stan Bowman knows what he wants, but the market isn't fleshed out yet because there's still a bunch of teams that think they're in the playoff race. And as we get towards, is it March 6th, I think?
Friday, March 6th, yes.
Yeah, as we get towards March 6th, if let's say there's 20 teams right now that think they got a shot, now you get to March 6th, there's going to be 14 teams, and that's 6 sellers that didn't exist today. So that's why it happens at the end, man. That's why the trade deadline comes. It'll happen from March 1 to 6. And Edmonton will find an improvement. They'll find something that they want. They don't have a ton of cap room here. This Oilers team isn't in a position to remake itself at the deadline, but
no, very few.
They'll get something done.
Do you expect the Oilers to play better tomorrow night?
Well, holy man. Yes. I happen to be standing right, and I think you were right next to me in that scrum with McDavid last night, weren't you?
Yeah.
And we were, you're pretty tight in because all the cameras come. And I asked Connor about the urgency. And I think my question was something to the extent of we've seen you guys play 60 minutes and play hard all the way in April and May, but do you have to work on that? Like, do you got to figure out how to do that in December and January? And the look in his eye was, this isn't me blowing my horn. I ask lots of dumb questions. Everybody knows it, right? I'm not telling you I'm the smartest guy in the room here. But the look in his eye while he answered the question was, no bleep, Sherlock, right? No doubt we need to do that. And starting now, what did he say? There's 30 games left. There's no games in February. Let's go, right? So I thought it hit a little bit of a nerve with Connor, like when I said, can you find your April game here? And he's kind of, the look in his eye was, what do you think we're trying to do, dummy? So I really did. I thought that hit a nerve. And to me, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is if we're reading them right, and that's how Connor McDavid feels, the rest of the team's going to feel that way awfully quick.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. So the captain might be sending a little bit of a quiet, stern message to the group. Say, hey boys, let's wake up. Have yourself a good weekend. Stay warm. We'll chat with you on Monday.
Sounds good, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. LT joins us next. Gregor, Wanye, Connor Halley here on Sports 1440, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We continue on. Positive Friday, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We very much appreciate it. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you on a chilly Friday evening. The Oilers, of course, taking on the Capitals. Oilers had the day off today. Take on the Capitals tomorrow. Then they've got the Ducks on Monday. Then they've got a few days off. And then they have the Sharks. Celebrini comes to town on Thursday. And then Minnesota Wild ends January. Get a few days off. Then they got the Leafs and the Flames on the Tuesday and Wednesday. And then they are off for 3 weeks for the Olympic break. And I can't wait for the Olympics, man. I am so excited. I love the Olympics. This will be awesome. Awesome stuff. As now we get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca from 31 new vehicle brands and 76 locations to choose from. Any vehicle, they got it. GoAuto.ca. as a guy who was cheering loudly from his house, "Go Mitch, go! Go Mitch, go!" Alan Mitchell joins us now. Al, how you doing?
I'm very well. Very well.
Well, I can tell you're excited. Right? Mitch Marner returns. Very excited. You love these things.
Oh, absolutely. Most important regular season game in NHL history, according to Titch.
Yeah. Unlike last night, which wasn't very entertaining or important for the Edmonton Oilers, is they did something they've never done before, Al. Allow 3 goals in 37 seconds. And, even Alan Mitchell might have debated turning off the television.
Well, I didn't, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I could allow 3 goals in 9 seconds. So, I mean, if we're looking for the record, just let me on the ice. What irritated me though is Andrew Mangiapane is fighting for his professional life, and he pulls the chute on the back check. That's early in a hockey game. I'm not saying it's vitally important that you don't give up that goal, and it went to AG double hockey sticks right after. But man, you've got to give a care. And he just pulled the chute, and Mantha drove to the net, which you're supposed to do. And I was I really like Mangiapane as a player. I was disappointed in that play.
Oh, well, lots of Mangiapane's season has been a disappointment, right, Al? And it's and there's a few things like the Oilers, their home record has been disappointing since they got blown out by Colorado. The Oilers all season have been disappointing when they allow the first goal. They're one of the worst teams in the NHL. There's only 3 teams worse than them at coming back to win games when you give up the first goal. And Edmonton's a top 5. Like, I get why the St. Louis Blues can't win games when they give up the first goal. They're the least, they're the worst scoring team in the NHL. The Oilers have the 4th most goals in the NHL as far as goals per game goes. Offense isn't their problem. They shouldn't just roll over and be unable to come back and win a game when they allow the first goal.
Yeah, and also I'll just add into that, when you do allow the first goal, here's an idea: tighten up. Like, don't allow free rolling in the offensive zone. They turn over the puck at the blue line on the next play. That's a breakaway. Bouchard goes I think, too deep into his end. Some people don't think that's a critical mistake, but I feel like he invested too much in a play that hadn't been established in the zone too quickly.
Yeah.
And then Ekholm's done. And then later in the game, and I know it was just a small little pass, but he misses. Like, McDavid could not handle the pass, and it ends up being a breakaway the other way. I just say I love Bouchard as a player. Honest to God, I do. I defend him all the time. But I would just like to see a little bit of maturation of the player. Maybe wait a heartbeat before you enter the zone, just to make sure that puck gets through and doesn't turn over quickly at the opposition blue line. And then if you're going to make that pass, have a little more care. He had lots of time to turn and make a more sturdy pass, and he didn't do it. And I love him as a player. Honest to God, I do. But that part of his game could improve, and it would really help if he did it.
Yeah. There's some small areas of their game that have to be refined. For sure. What do you see in Ike Howard's game right now?
Well, it's not. He's getting. I think it was you who said that he's not getting. He's not getting to enough plays, and he's also like I saw it in the AHL, and he blows the zone again too quickly, and that's a sign that he's a little bit inexperienced. But here's the problem: Savoy's starting to score a little bit. Like, he's around 2 points for 60 at 5-on-5 since January 1st. Howard has to get there because they're going to have to make some decisions on players here for the playoffs, and they might have to surrender something. I'm not saying they're trading Savoy or Howard, but playing time now is available to Howard. It may not be in another month. It may not be after the Olympics. So I think it's imperative for him to kind of get into the program. And look, it's a tough league. I get it. And maybe this isn't his year. Maybe he's going to have to go down and play a little bit more in Bakersfield, but of the players on that line, he's the one that I think would be most likely to be replaced with a big winger acquisition, or say Podkolzin.
LT, it was a nice tribute to Kulak and Skinner on the scoreboard last night. What do you think? What will history say about Stu Skinner's time as an Oiler?
Well, I think that as time goes on, people will remember that he was he saved the season because Jack Campbell was really unable to make it happen. He had a fantastic rookie year. got some votes for the Calder Trophy, which is unusual for any Oiler player. And then I feel like he plateaued, and I'm not sure that it was the team or Stuart Skinner himself, but they during the regular season his numbers were kind of the same, maybe a little lower each season. But then in the playoffs, he would either catch fire or stumble a little bit, and Pickard would pick him up. I give him credit for being the goalie of record in 2 Stanley Cup finals. And, I'm not going to say he's the best goalie since Joseph, because I think Cam Talbot was, but I think that Stuart Skinner, for the pressure that was put on him immediately and how he handled the pressure, I think people will remember him fondly, although there are always going to be those who believe that he was the reason they didn't win those 2 Stanley Cups. I personally do not. I think that time will heal a lot of wounds, and I think people will remember him fondly, especially the mustache.
Well, I think a lot of Stuart Skinner will be, hey, he's a younger goalie who had to face a ton of pressure without a lot of experience. And I thought held up very admirably. Like, the one thing about Skinner, he showed that, he'd have a bad game or two, but he bounced back, right? He bounced back. You just look at this past year, right, in the playoffs. He bounced back and played very well. You know what? He was never paid to be your top-end guy. And you look at what he's doing in Pittsburgh, it's pretty solid. Maybe it's a little bit more relaxing situation. And like a lot of guys, like, things change when you get traded. All of a sudden, it's just like, whoa, like, okay, this is a business, and, you never want to get too comfortable. That's just the reality of the situation. So I'm kind of curious to see, how he does. He's off to a good start in Pittsburgh. And I'll say this, the Penguins overall, Al, to me, have been the biggest surprise in the Eastern Conference. Not even close. Like, who had them as the second place team in the Metro and a top, I think, 8 team right now in the NHL?
Yeah, it's true. And also Malkin is just reborn. I don't know what happened, whether he went to the Russian, salt baths or whatever to re-energize, but he looks like a different player recently. And just one more note on Skinner. If the Oilers win the Stanley Cup this spring with Jari and say Connor Ingram as the tandem, then he will be remembered differently. If they get blown out in the first round, then Skinner will be remembered far differently because of that. So the story of Skinner in Edmonton isn't quite written, thoroughly, but it will be, depending upon how this team performs in the next couple of years.
No question. Al, who do you like this weekend in the National Football League?
Well, I like Seattle most of all, but I'm going to go Seattle, New England, and I just feel like there's certain things that would just irritate the hell out of me, like if Dallas won the Super Bowl, and New England being good again really is made to irritate me. I think New England will make it to the Super Bowl, and I think Seattle will win it, but I think it'll be Seattle and New England winning this weekend.
Al, have yourself an awesome weekend. Stay warm, and we'll chat with you on Monday.
All right. Be good, boys. Thanks.
There you go. That's Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, noon to 2 on Sports 1440. We'll take a quick break. We will come back and wrap things up. It's The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Yeah. Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brig. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
This is the sound of a Toyota Tacoma arriving at the trail with 2 high-performance snowmobiles in tow. And this is the sound of a Tacoma arriving at school with 2 high-energy kids in tow. 2 extremes, 1 Tacoma with a powerful I-Force engine. Now's the time to get yours. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 Tacoma Double Cab SR5 from $115 weekly for 60 months at 6.69% with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Keep your game sharp all season long at 01. An advanced skating wheel, classes to enhance shooting, stick handling, and more. Sign up today at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We return to wrap things up on a busy Friday afternoon. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a better day than Craig Berube had in the gym. I don't know if you've seen that. Oh my goodness. Like, I'd love to know the real story there. Like, somehow the barbell or something fell on his head. I don't know. Did you see the
oh yeah,
like he took his hat off? Like, first of all, he's got the shiner. It looked like he'd been in a fight. And you're thinking, all right, well, hey, the Chief's done that a few times in his life, held his own pretty good. And then he takes his hat off, and it's got like a whole like half moon. And like, I don't know how many stitches are in there, but that's got to be a significant amount. Like, I'd love to know what the stitch count was, but that's, I'd love to know what he did. As he said, he goes, it's all on me. I did something stupid in the gym. Like, I'd love to know what it was, because something must have like obviously fell on his head.
I wonder if he was trying to bench press and couldn't get the weight up and it fell on him.
But even if that, but if you're trying to bench press, you would turn this way. How would it fall on your head?
Something went awry.
No, something, I don't know if he was laying and maybe doing something over his head with a plate or something, but that was, that's wild. Wild to me, man.
He did not look enthused to be telling the story to the media either, did he?
No, not at all.
No.
So we'll see. Hey guys, would you put Stamkos on the Olympic team? I think his IQ and pedigree and his shot make up for a lot. That's from Burrow to Chase. Yeah, not right now. I don't think his foot speed's there, to be honest. I'm like, when you're getting the best of the best now, Every one of these guys have hockey IQ, right? Like, look at all the other guys involved. Like, Stamkos has had a good run here for the last 7 weeks. Awesome. But no, I wouldn't have him on my team. Good player. Like, I just think there's better available players than him. Would he embarrass himself if he was on the team? God, no. But I wouldn't have him on the team. So, and honestly, like, if you're Nashville and you're looking to take a run for the playoffs, just like if you're the Edmonton Oilers, you do not want Sweden to call Mattias Ekholm now. As much as Mattias Ekholm wants to go, and I get it, you wouldn't be mad, but as a fan, at this point, you're like, selfishly, you're like, Mattias Ekholm rested for 3 weeks is a much better scenario.
Same with Zach Hyman. Coming off the injury he came off, it's not going to hurt him to be able to rest more.
Yeah, he's not as old as, like Ekholm slowing down a little bit, but you're right for both of them, yeah. Same even as Evan Bouchard. Like, the more rest is a valuable asset leading into the playoffs. And the Oilers don't have, like, they come out, they have 3 games in 4 days, sure. But then in March, you only play 14 games in 31 days. And in April, they play 7 and 16. So the Oilers play 21 games in their final 47 days. Like, that's one of the lightest schedules in the NHL. And so the 3-week rest will really benefit them, because after that, they've got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way.
When you look at how much hockey they've played over the last 2 seasons, and then they started this year flat, we have to take into account the amount of hockey that's been played.
Yeah, I think it's more that the flat has to do with more teams who just lose the Stanley Cup final. Like, it is, I think it's much more emotionally draining than anything else. And outside of Boston, every other team you average, like, if you can win 5 of 10, that's a really good start for a team that's lost the cup. And that's, basically that's what Edmonton's done. And I look at Edmonton, like, some of their games, I don't know if it's about, like, does fatigue just turn off and on from one game? Because, man, on the weekend, they look like world beaters. Like, they're like, oh, wow, the Oilers are really starting to pick up here. They're going to go on a run. And then it was just like not even close to, like, a little bit of a slowing down. They just slammed on the brakes, complete 180, right back into the ditch for the last 2 games against New Jersey and Pittsburgh. Now, the good news about pro sports is you get another opportunity the next day. You're only as good or as bad as your last game. And so for the Edmonton Oilers now, they'll have to find a way to regroup and be better tomorrow against the Washington Capitals. And it's not like that, like, hey, Caps aren't a juggernaut, but neither was New Jersey. It's not like the Pittsburgh Penguins are playing better. I will say that. They are playing better, no question about it. They're like 3rd hottest team in the NHL over the last 16 games, so they're playing better. But they shouldn't be able to spank the Oilers to the level that they did.
Are the Oilers disappointing you on pace or ahead of where you thought they'd be on January 23rd?
I thought Edmonton and Vegas would be the top 2 teams in the division, so they are. The problem for Edmonton is Vegas wins tonight. They're 4 points up with 2 games in hand. I think Edmonton has blown a lot of games against teams that aren't as good as them, and those points might come back to haunt them to not win the division. Because, hey, Vegas is going to be good. I think it's going to be Edmonton, Vegas in the second round, and then obviously whoever you're going to take on in the Central is going to be a good team as well. So Edmonton, it's still not over, but I wonder if too many losses might ultimately be, because Vegas has those games in hand, and ultimately that might be the issue for them to get in. Now, they face each other 3 times in March and April, and that might be the difference to see who gets in. But I think Edmonton's been a slight disappointment because they've blown some games against teams they should beat, in my opinion. So we'll see. Everybody have a great weekend. Please do not drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Get home safe. Be smart. Help your fellow motorists. A little chilly out there. And enjoy all the hockey. If you're going to the Shoresy game tonight, have fun there. Chirp Strutty and Schmieder and TR, of course. Also, enjoy the Oilers tomorrow, Oil Kings on Sunday, and some NFL. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
8 games on the NHL schedule tonight. After 20 minutes, Golden Knights lead the Maple Leafs 2-0, and the Lightning trail the Blackhawks 1-0. Later on, Blue Stars, Habs host the Flyers, got the Capitals and the Flames, Canucks, Devils, Rangers in San Jose, and the Kraken hosting the Ducks in the association. The Raptors West Coast road trip continues in Portland to about 8 o'clock. Couple games underway in the second quarter. The Pistons up on the Rockets 35-34. And in the first, the Hawks have a 23-19 lead over the Suns. Kings trail the Caps 20-6. Later tonight, Pelicans and Grizz, Thunder host the Pacers, and the Nuggets taking on the Bucks. The CFL increasing their salary cap to $6.28 million for the upcoming season. The last year was $6.06 million. CFL will also provide an additional $50,000 per club towards free season compensation for veteran players. In the BCHL, the Saints on the road taking on Okotos, while the Crusaders are in Cranbrook. Both games get going just after 7. In the AJ, you've got 4 games tonight, including Camrose hosting Canmore, and the Bobcats taking on the Storm. U of A hockey, men in Saskatoon taking on the Huskies tonight and tomorrow. The Pandas will host the Huskies down at the Drake tonight at 7, tomorrow at 5. At the Saddle Center, you got volleyball action. Bears and Pandas hosting Winnipeg tonight at 7, tomorrow at 5. And over at McEwen, men's hockey hosting Manitoba, while the women in Winnipeg taking on the Bison. Coming up next here on Sports 1440, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir at 10, and pre-game coverage for the Oilers and Capitals 7 o'clock with Andrew Walker.